Live, yeah.
B-Money, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Woo! Yeah, we are live. And let me tell you something. I'm excited. We're going to have an awesome Brap show tonight. Let me tell you why I'm excited. Because Sony introduced next gen today. This is what the gamers wanted to see. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see why we need to spend $500, potentially $500 on these next generation consoles. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Brap. And by the way, I'm super excited because we have a special guest this evening. First time guest. We have Jay Barry. Jay, man. Hey, first of all, warm Brap welcome, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. And what a perfect time to have you on, by the way.
Absolutely, man. Yo, you got the best list on YouTube here. We're gonna have some fun, show how it's done. You know what I mean? PlayStation.
Are you hyped for next gen? Are you ready?
Yeah. I was very impressed with what I saw earlier today, and I just know when that first party hit it, when that Days Gone running that Unreal 5 hit it. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yo, Jay, but here's the thing, but it was at 1440p, 30 frames per second, so it wasn't really impressive. Blah blah blah.
That's the funny thing about life now, right? Like I said, when it's PlayStation, everybody highlight these things, right? When it's outside of PlayStation, it's like, what are you playing games for? Don't you play for the fun? Are you playing games for fun? Games should be fun. All that go out the window.
Like a PlayStation dude, is that true?
I'm a PlayStation dude for sure, but I'm just saying that all that stuff goes out the window when it applies to PlayStation. I feel like when it comes to anything PlayStation, everybody turn into these top chef judges. They look at the dirt tracks, they look at the rock particle, everything they look at. On any other platform, they ignore that. It's like it's about the fun, you know what I mean? Or that's everybody they turn to a victim.
Jay, when you see Honey I Shrunk the Negro, it is like it's supposed to be fun. It's great. It's on Game Pass. It's free. Who cares?
It's on Game Pass, man. It's for $1 or $5, man. Have some fun with it. That's what we do, man.
What we doing?
Yeah, Shrunk the Negro. Yeah, man. It's a pleasure being on here. First time here on Brat, man. It's gonna be a goodie.
Hey, E, by the way, I didn't come up with that name for that game, by the way. Someone else did. I think it was J-Dub. Big shout out to J-Dub. I think he's the one that...
I thought I saw that.
I think J-Dub or OBJ. Well, I think it was OBJ.
I think it was OBJ. Actually, it was OBJ. Yeah, big shout out to OBJ, by the way. But these two, it's funny, and I was having fun today, by the way. I got called a pony. I got cursed out today. These dudes, it was like Thundercats. Like the light went up and the Thundercats came out and Lionel came down and was like defending Xbox. I'm like, whoa. Like, first of all, like let me tell you something. I keep telling people, I mostly game on PC, right? I do now. And, Code is going to be gaming on PC a lot next generation. He doesn't know it yet, but come on, Code already knows when that 30 series drops. Woo! You know what's coming, Code.
It's a wrap. It's over with.
Yeah, see? Thank you, Code. By the way,
the latest rumors is that the weakest of the 30 series, the 3060, is going to be basically the same as the 2080 Ti, which is the best card on the market right now.
Can I just, Slow-Mo, can I tell you something?
That's ridiculous.
Can I tell you something, Slow-Mo?
What's up, man?
I got aroused when I heard that. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, look, Enrique, you ain't have to tell me that.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man.
None of us. I'm speaking from the heart, man.
Exactly. I'm speaking from the heart.
He's speaking from something. I don't know if it's his heart.
Exactly. Right.
That need to remain unsaid, and that was one of them. But look, man.
Quarantine does strange shit.
I was like R. Kelly. My mind's telling me no.
Oh no,
Lord, man.
We really in some uncharted territory now. Let's wheel it on back.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look.
We'll be back, Slow-Mo. We'll be back.
I have been advocating that 60 frames. But hey, look, everyone's saying keep the same energy. Okay, let's keep the same energy. This is Epic. This wasn't a PlayStation event, so why y'all mad? What y'all mad about? You keep saying we're gonna have the same thing on the Xbox Series X. Yeah, you are. So why you mad? What you upset about? Why you jumping on everybody's tweets? Damage controlling. What are you damage controlling? It's Epic.
Yo,
Your engine is almost freeware. Look right now, the 6 of us on this panel can say we're gonna make a game, and we can go to Epic, and they would give us the engine for free. That's how free it is. What are you upset about? Why are you butthurt? Good grief, it's ridiculous. Like, cause it all comes down to
Cole's mad.
Hoes are bad, right?
Why they gotta be hoes? Wait. Why they gotta be hoes though? I mean, seriously.
Look, man. If you when you act like a hoe, you get treated like one.
Oh, come on, not like that.
Look,
not like
let me stop. I'm being. Hold on.
People don't understand his humor sometimes. You know, they don't understand our humor.
Yeah, I'm being funny. I'm not being serious, but just
like Coach says, I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
Let's think about this for a moment, right? Like, the only reason why these dudes is mad is because it was mentioned that this demo was running off a PlayStation 5. That's it.
I mean,
that's the alpha and omega of why these people are.
I'm not even sure that same demo can run on the Xbox.
Oh, don't Code. Wait, Code. Wait, time out.
Listen,
whoa, time out, real quick.
They hinted to it. Y'all was listening.
I heard it, but
look, man,
we ain't gonna start that, man.
I'm not gonna go that far. I am the Unreal Engine 5 expert, according to some people on Twitter, but I won't go that far and say that Xbox Series S couldn't run it like that. But
going that far.
Yeah, but I mean,
hold on, wait.
The funny thing is, though, right?
Real quick, because I don't want to miss. I want to get introductions real quick before we get to some of the topics. So I want to welcome back Optimus Code, who's going to who is.
I don't need no introduction.
You need introduction. Code. You need introduction because apparently, Code. You know, your credentials are in question.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you haven't been game developer, so I don't know. No softball questions here. That's all I got to say on Brap tonight.
Man, what is a softball question? I don't even understand what that means.
I don't know.
Last time I know, softball hurt.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Softball's hurt. You ever hit the softball? That shit hurts like a motherfucker. It hurts.
That's a big ball, man. Pause.
Yo, you ever see them girls throw a softball? You stand and put your chest out and take one.
Man, I bet I won't.
Boy.
Oh, Lord. What is up, gentlemen?
Yo, Forte. Forte.
Oh,
Forte.
Forte. What's up with this name, bro?
I'm the Unreal Engine 5 expert.
I will say that. Hey, I will say this though, Slow-Mo. I will say this. We know Frostbite can't do what Unreal Engine 5 does. That's all.
Absolutely.
I don't just leave it at that.
I mean, wait, hold on. Frostbite can't do what Unreal Engine 4, 3, or 2 did. We already know that.
You know, and to
messy,
bring that up, like this is what's funny about Twitter. Like, I put a tweet out saying that that Unreal Engine 5 was 5 times better than Frostbite engine, and really, this was really just to get on iDizzy's nerve. Shout out to iDizzy. I just like to mess with him sometimes because he loves Frostbite, and so that's all I was doing, and it wasn't that big a deal. Now it's got like 50 likes. I don't know why. And it's like, and then like people are jumping in like, well, duh. I mean, Frostbite's like 6 years old, and Unreal Engine 5 is not even finished yet. Of course, it's better. Like, I mean, wow. Like, you know,
really
the best thing ever. I'm like,
glasses back up on their nose. And
I know. I mean, I'm like, dude, and the guys all like, I mean, like, are there any other, you know, great takes you want to make right now? I'm like, well, here's another great take. Like, why are you butthurt? Like, I don't understand, huh?
I sense hostility within you. You all right, man? They don't like
oh no, I'm good. I have been having fun today.
Slow-mo in his bag right now.
Very fun. Been setting traps all damn day today.
Yeah.
I need to ask an obvious question. I want a straight up answer from each person on the panel. Enrique, I'm taking over for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
why are we avoiding the fact that the Xbox Series X could not have run that Unreal Engine demo?
Okay.
Whoa.
How do you know that? Because you haven't developed a game, according to some people, in years. So, and I'm not gonna throw softball questions at you for that.
Hey, there's another question I want to
So
ask
you don't
too.
know.
Man, are you out here setting date?
Because I'm pretty sure the Assassin's Creed Valhalla devs have developed a game, and you see it's matching everything that I said. So I'm not really sure if they know what they're talking about.
Oh boy. Okay.
We got some wordsmithing going on here.
Yeah, we do. Okay, real quick, before we get to the topics, I will say this. I want to welcome the panel. I'm gonna give a shout out to everyone, the live guests. Big shout out to the panel again. B Money, Eric Jackson, Slomo Backslap, Gaming Forte, again, our guest this evening. I will say,
Hey, Enrique.
Yeah.
Real quick, to dive into, I got a question for Code. Code, do you believe the Xbox Series X could not run that demo based on the last 30 seconds?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh my god.
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, we gotta save the best for last, like Vanessa Williams.
Forte, don't I'm gonna tell you, I'm here. Don't start your shit.
Yeah.
Who that? Oh, that must be Bari. Oh, Bari. Oh Lord, yeah, we're gonna have fun tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have. Hey, this is gonna be. Let me tell you, this is gonna be a fun brap. I'm telling you.
Hey, shout out to the 8 downvotes we got already.
Yeah, you know what?
Goddamn, Bari, take no people.
Hey, we had
my bad,
man. We had 5 before we went live.
Yeah, because
my bad. Yo, listen. My name is Toxic, bro. I'm trying to.
Jay Bari done brung 4 people with him that don't like the show.
I think that was me, Jay Barry. We might be competing for dislikes tonight, man.
Oh man, yeah, I seen your antics on not antics, but I seen the hate from you that you get on Twitter too.
Oh, by the way, Code, I just set you up on Twitter. I'm saying Code is saying that the Unreal demo can't run on Series X. I'm tweeting.
Agree with him.
That's 100%.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll definitely get to that.
Wow, just mentioning the downvotes got us another one. You know what? Shout out to the 9 guys who downvoted us. The 9 guys who have to do a plank over the toilet to keep from peeing on their balls. Shout out!
Oh my God, Slow-Mo!
Damn,
Slow-Mo! What is going on?
Slow-Mo foreign today, boy.
Yo, Slow-Mo brought the heat today.
You want to know something funny? Want to know something funny? Those 9 dislikes are from Xbox gamers. Just let you know, okay? I'm just letting you know.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, I want to say something real quick.
Hey, brother, you like it or not, man? Keep the show trending.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick because I had oh wow, I can't. Is Twitter down? What's going on?
Downvotes count too.
Oh, you probably got banned from Twitter. You've been talking too much trash.
Oh man, damn, maybe I got seriously, maybe I got banned. Hold on, real quick, guys.
Somebody reported you down.
Somebody making
become a legend.
The Thunder
legend. You're not a legend till you get in Twitter jail.
Hey, the Thunderbots came out. Lionel came out. Snarf.
The Thundercats, brat, but we'll let you slide.
No, I call them the Thunderbots, though. So
because they're all Xbox related.
Hey, do not add any slander to Thundercats. That's
damn, bro, your stuff is banned. Every time when I go to your channel, it says this profile is not viewable.
Oh,
why did someone ban
they got
me?
you out of here. They got your ass out of here, boy.
I can see him on Twitter.
No, I'm just messing with him. You can see him.
Oh, don't say that.
God damn it, fucking Bar.
Hey, but Bar,
I'm new. My bad.
No, it's okay. Don't apologize, J Bar. It's cool, man.
Say it's
that's all right, Bar. We know Barry don't listen to the show. We know Barry don't listen to the show enough. He would have knew to let that ride if he listened all the time.
I'm going to get the vibes. Don't worry. I'm going to get the vibes.
Oh yeah, you good.
So let me real quick. I want to get to one quick conversation or topic. It has to do with. I know we did a post show about the Xbox inside Xbox and Microsoft not
what inside gameplay.
Yeah, the gameplay thing. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think about Aaron Greenberg coming out and apologizing, say, hey, you know what, guys, maybe we didn't get the messaging right. Like, do you think they should have came out and apologized?
Hell yeah, they should have.
Yeah, that was the right move.
That was top notch. Yeah.
He had to do that. And to kind of, I mean, it didn't. With this community, you can't diffuse much, but it kind of diffused some of the anger. Like you had to address why people was angry. You misrepresented what was going to be there, and people were rightly upset. And so therefore you had to address it, fall on your sword, apologize. He's the guy who opened the stream and closed it. So and he's the one that was hyping it to all heaven, days before. So Aaron had to be the dude to fall on his sword for it. He did it. I give him respect to that because I give him respect for doing that because he needed to do that. It didn't need to come from Phil or Matt Booty or whoever else because they weren't the ones out there capping like that. So Aaron did it, and he said, "Look, we're gonna do better next time." And I'm gonna give him the opportunity to, like with this July stream or wherever they do next month, to do better.
Because that's the thing, slow mo. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have came out and apologize for nothing. Apologize with the July stream. Make sure that has gameplay and make sure that's better. That's the apology.
No. Because look, they lied. They lied about what they were going to show. They said this is going to be a big gameplay reveal from their third parties, and it was a bunch of trailers, and none of it, we can't confirm any of it was actually really running on an Xbox Series X. I think later on, the developer for Bright Memory said his was, but like that should have been information they should have said in stream. That should have been information that comes out 3-4 days later.
Slow-mo, you know what's funny developer. Though? Every trailer that was showing there, it says this is representative of what it would display on Xbox Series X. They are PC built. Those are PC built builds, and they're just displaying like, okay, this is what's going to represent the Xbox Series X. Here's what you can expect. It's not running for. That's the biggest difference. I know we're gonna get into the whole PlayStation thing.
What's that got to do with him apologizing or not?
I don't think he should apologize. As far as apology, it's like, like Kratos says, don't be sorry, be better.
And be better. They still need to be better, Bart.
Well, I mean, but that's what he said. That's what he said. We gotta do better. We're gonna be better. But we told you it was going to be A, and you got B. Therefore,
the apology should be action.
But
next stream or whatever it needs to be better.
No. That is true, but it is not only action. It sounds like you're saying that if they apologize, then they can't also show action. They can do both, and I agree with Slow-Mo 100%. If you are positioning yourselves as listening to gamers and being in touch with what the community wants, and when you have done something that has disappointed the community, why wouldn't you own it and then make amends to do better? It's not like they're mutually exclusive, right? They can do both.
Yeah. That's exactly. I agree with Cole 100%. They can apologize and then also give people what they're looking for with the next stream and
now,
do
if
better.
They apologize and don't do better, then we got a problem.
Oh yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate though?
Go ahead, man.
Because you do the apology, right? But then you right back on Twitter, peacocking again.
Oh man.
Did he?
Yeah, he was. You see what I'm saying? Just sit back and shit. Like I get it. I look.
What did he say? What did he say though?
I don't know it directly, but he's basically doing that the whole X gonna give it to you thing again with the.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
He's five and all that. And that's fine. I get it. No. Wait. Let me finish.
Go ahead, man.
I know that's his job, but there's still a way that you can do it without overselling.
Okay,
because we've been in it. Forte, we've been in the position before, like with the Xbox One X, it was the same thing, and then they out there again apologizing.
Look, man,
I kept apologizing to Tina with flowers, and he go right back upside her head again.
He's out there like Velvet DeVoe. I apologize.
Look, man, I respect that man coming out there and falling on that sword because he deserved to fall on that sword. He deserved to fall on that sword, but I'm not going to take that man's shine away just because he want to go out there and still hype the platform he want. Now, if this was first party, he didn't need to be saying anything because this is what it comes down to for me. Third party, they greenlit a bunch of trash. I ain't gonna say all of it was trash, but the presentation of the games that they showed was absolutely not done the correct way. They should have did it a completely different way, and he needed to fall on that sword, making it seem like people actually care about in-game cutscenes versus gameplay. Gameplay and in-game cutscenes are two freaking different things. One is not gameplay, and one is not. One is. But
Forte, this is their problem though. It's Microsoft show. It's Microsoft show, right?
No. That's why he needed to fall on the sword. Still, he fell.
Exactly. So when you out there hyping, you talking about gameplay, right? Right. You the one who have these relationships with the third-party partners, correct?
Woo! Yes.
So when you hyping up gameplay, why did you not request gameplay? And if it's not gameplay, then it's not making a show.
Look, man, I said the show,
or not just. I mean, still have the show. Just don't have like 3 to 4 days. You can still have the show.
You just ain't showing that game because they didn't provide what you asked for.
No, I don't know what they asked for. We don't know if they said, "Hey, look, we want gameplay," and this is what they got. But all I know is that a week out before that show, we didn't know it was happening. We didn't know what they were going to do. They set the expectations 2 to 3 days before the show happened. So all they had to do to avoid this was, you know what you got from these developers. Don't talk that talk. You don't have that gameplay. Don't say that. You say we got an Inside Xbox coming on Thursday. Come check us out. And it would have been the best Inside Xbox they ever had.
Exactly.
It was still a good Inside Xbox. Though.
Let me tell you, man, I'm not gonna change my. If that was me and I made a mistake like that, just like I still come back to slow mo neck every other show. Even if I mess up, I'm still gonna come back to slow mo's neck, even knowing I was wrong in the whole situation. That ain't gonna change the fact that I'm still gonna come the way I need to come.
Did he fall in the sword, or did he get a call from Real Phil?
Oh, you never. We'll talk about the person that stays supersonic distances away from this whole damn stream. You absolutely right. He probably took that call.
Wow.
Phil was like, bro, but don't act like Phil didn't know what they were showing, though. So let's not.
You know what? But back to like what
Phil knew about.
Like we were saying a moment ago, and what Slow-Mo was saying is like a week out. They were kind of setting it up. It was kind of chill. It was like, okay, we're going to this thing. And what was it, like 2 days before, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron came out and put his foot on the gas like he usually does.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why he fell on that sword, because that gas pedal was a little broken and he didn't know how to hit the brakes. You absolutely right. But
can I make a suggestion real quick? Can I just say something?
Hey, well, before you get to that point, I got to get a super chat. I got to pay the bill, sir.
All right, go ahead.
We got
$2. That bill?
Oh, wow. Is that what we're doing that Forte?
If it's not above green tier, we don't read them.
Come on.
Forte, seriously.
I'm just playing.
Very disrespectful.
That is very disrespectful.
I'm just playing.
Hey, Jay, I just want to say we don't condone this stuff. That's Forte. He goes rogue every once in a while.
Forte is very upset because Destiny is trash right now.
No, I refuse to log into the game and play right now.
Because it's
you all backed up and frustrated. That's why you're saying.
Why do you
wait? Backed up and frustrated. How you know that, Slow-Mo?
Wait, time out.
Slow-Mo, have you been following me?
Time out.
Hey, look, man.
Time out. I gotta get the super chat. Hey.
It's obvious.
No home training.
Yeah, I gotta get the super chat.
Exactly.
Forte, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I'll leave it at that. So wait,
you about to read Rape the Emperor? Are you about to read that?
Yes, I am.
Rape the Emperor. Thank you for that great $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Brap appreciate it. The whole panel appreciates it. Sony should apologize for hurting all these peoples. Woo!
Well, Sony didn't do it. That was Epic. Sony don't do it.
Sony didn't do nothing.
Sony has to be the smartest fucking company
ever. But
they allowed these dudes to put out a thing and say
we're not. All right. Wait, later we'll get to that later on.
Ain't got nothing to do with it.
We'll get to that later on.
We'll let y'all follow the sword for us.
This is hilarious, Brap. I think you done lost control of your show, man.
No, you know what? Let's take some. There's a lot of energy here. I feel the passion. Code. You know what? Code. You started it, man. You started it, man.
But I got back in line, unlike Forte.
Well, Forte's always.
Wait, hold on.
Forte's always out of line, though, Code. You know that.
Forte got an easy pass. He gets to the front of the line every 2 seconds. So I'm sorry.
All right, my fault, player.
Yo, Code. Yo. Oh wait, I'm hearing feedback. Is that you, Code?
Yeah, we're getting live feedback right now.
It ain't me. Not this time, suckers.
I think it's B.
I think might be.
Might listening on their cell phone.
Keep going back recording all this stuff so we can have some ammunition for later on.
Yeah, right. You're getting receipts, but no. Go ahead, Slow-Mo. To your point, man. Go ahead.
All right. So this is my thought here. So we haven't really heard too much from Aaron Greenberg in the past like 6 months, right? Like, I mean, he been around, but he ain't been like in the limelight marketing and things like he used to. Ever since it seems like the Video Game Awards last year, it seems like they've had a different messaging and a different marketing focus that absolutely working. I mean, they were understanding what the gaming community wanted to see from them as far as the system. They were doing things that were very like surprising, like who reveals your next console at the Video Game Awards, and not like it's your own event. No one expected that. It was surprising, it was shocking. That was good. They need to be out of their comfort zone, and that was great. Then we get Aaron coming back, and then we get stuff like this. So I'm looking at this, right? And I'm like, what's the common denominator here? Aaron. Aaron is the common denominator. Why don't we promote Cindy Walker, who made the suggestion?
You know what, man? Aaron's a good dude, man. Come on.
Hey, hold on.
He was there for the 360 though. He was there, but
that was a gazillion years ago.
Is it a marketing problem or is it a games problem?
It's a marketing problem because his messaging is all off.
I disagree with you.
So I'm like, you're going too far now, Slow-Mo.
Are you trying to say that Aaron Greenberg is basically God when it comes to marketing from Microsoft? You don't think
I didn't say he was God, but he was there.
Signed off on this stuff.
Saying the opposite.
I'm saying the exact opposite. What are you talking about?
Do you think Phil Spencer signed off on this show?
No,
no. Of course he did.
People do.
He had to sign off, and he's the boss.
So what
you asked me a question, I started answering, then you cut me off. Like, do you want to hear what I gotta say?
That was actually Enrique that cut you off, sir. I didn't even cut you off.
That was me that cut you off, Slow-Mo.
Now I am about to cut you off because you are telling me. So Slow-Mo, you work in IT. You telling me that if somebody was to do something that was underneath you without your knowledge, you ain't gonna have a problem with them?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that Phil wouldn't have a problem with what Aaron is doing. I said he should have a problem with his work, and he should do something about it.
So you don't think this was cleared through Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, before they decided to do it?
How many times you gonna ask?
Do you think that Aaron Greenberg like actually sent his tweets to Phil to review before he sent them out?
Yes.
Because it's his tweets that hyped this up to no end, right?
Hey, I think. Here's the thing.
Forte, do you send your tweets to GameStop before you tweet them out?
Jesus Christ.
No. Okay then. So like, I mean, I don't know if you know what you're talking about. Like, what you saying don't make any sense right now, man.
Wait, time out real quick. Time out. Hey, time out. Hey, J Bar, are you there, man?
I'm here, man. I'm enjoying the banter.
Hey, welcome to Brap, sir. I just want to say something. Look, I'll let you guys get. I don't.
Whoa, hold up. No, we're not doing that. We not, hide this person.
Who?
In the chat. It was somebody trying. Hey, look. Let me say this right now.
Yeah,
do not post spoilers in the chat.
Ban them.
Serious.
Ban them.
Yeah, like we not doing that nonsense.
Looks like the mods is taking care of it. They on it right away.
No, I took care of it. I didn't see anyone else doing it, but it was this guy was posting stuff for the past like 2 minutes. That's not cool.
Yeah. I just saw that now.
I don't know who raised y'all, but some of y'all people, but your parents should be ashamed of yourselves. Okay,
Slow-Mo. I just want to say something, bro. You are on another level today, bro, and I love it. Yo, Slow-Mo came out like the nature boy. He came out there like the nature boy, Rick Flair. Woo! Look,
I see some hostility in this man tonight, man.
I know. Hey, Code is a wise man. He's Moses on this podcast. He's old like that.
Moses
with Versace shades.
All I'm saying is,
Code, like, you fan, man. It's all love. I mean, bro.
They're serious, guys. Do not post spoilers. You will get banned off the channel.
But I want to say something real quick. I know he gets a lot of heat, and I will say this. I mean, he was there for the 360. I mean, and that was so. I don't think it's so much marketing. Maybe it comes down to the fact of the games, though.
He was there for the last 6 months. This was going on. Just because you ain't hear him, don't mean he wasn't there.
I agree. I agree with Slow-Mo, but I'm gonna take it a step forward. I think a lot of people need to get let go on that Xbox, man.
Oh, here you go.
Wait, I don't believe that, Jay.
What's his name? Damon Baker. He was dry as hell. You can keep the other chick on, Sarah Bond. She fine. Damon Baker should go.
You funny, man.
Eric Greenberg.
Sarah, because she fine. I love it, yo.
When I see my man wear the Ori onesie, he had to go. I'm sorry. You're making Xbox look corny as hell.
Hey, guys, Hey guys, real quick. Wait, hold on, real quick, guys. Hey, I want to give. So we got people in the chat trying to spoil Last of Us. The people that are mods right now. If you guys can see this stuff, I just caught a couple. If you guys can like catch his stuff, I'll definitely appreciate it.
It's probably the same dude.
Probably
crazy. I think we only.
You timed him out, man. Boot him from the chat, man. Get him off the chat.
I Dizzy got him. I did.
Yeah, thank you, I Dizzy. Actually, I'm about to make some more people mods here, because yeah.
Oh Lord, we made it to the big time, man. Now.
Like, yo, damn.
Yeah,
we big time now. Everybody feel like
exactly. See that? See, hey Barry. See, hey, but this is your fault, Barry. I'm just joking. It's not your fault, man.
It's just jokes, guys. It's just jokes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's jokes.
I play all the Xbox games on PC. Guys, relax, okay? I'm here.
Barry's like, yo, I'm in the ecosystem. Back off. You know what's funny? It's okay. I'm making everyone that comes here every week a moderator now. But seriously, don't do that.
Super chat.
Yeah, don't do that. Like that shit. Like seriously, like don't do that. Like don't come in this chat and like try to spoil. That shit's not cool. Like seriously, like if you're doing that shit over plastic boxes, go get some fucking help. Seriously, that's just not cool. Like I don't like that.
Right, man. Yeah, that's
like
trash.
Seriously, yo, that's bullshit. You come into my. Okay, I'm gonna stop, but you get the point. Go. Who's got the super chat?
Go ahead, get it, Slow-Mo, because I can't see it now.
Oh wait, I was looking.
I got it.
I was looking at Twitter. My bad.
Yeah, I got it. Dax, thank you, Dax. Thank you, sir, with a $2 super chat. Says Microsoft approved the vid internally, then hyped it.
Agreed.
Let me speak on this real quick. So first,
go ahead.
Ari, I appreciate your comments because you're pretty funny. But I would say that with talking like what you're doing, they will never put you in charge of a multi-billion-dollar enterprise because you don't make business decisions based on if people looking stupid on Twitter or not. According to
that stuff was just jokes.
Oh, okay. Well, I got nothing to say.
You joke. I can tell. Jay Barry got a funny.
I'm learning you, Jay Barry. Give me a few minutes. By the end of the show, we'll be synced up.
Hey, Jay, you got to be patient with Code. He's a little slow because he's older. So
you'll realize that Jay Barry's funny bone is a little loose.
Enrique is ageist. He is ageist.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too. Invite people on your show and then just criticize them. It ain't right, man.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Code. Come on.
Here we go.
Come on, Code. You have come on this show and you have Okay, I'm not going to. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Slow-Mo. What were you saying, man?
No, I can say you were ageist. That's all I said. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
It's true.
Jay, don't listen to this. This is blasphemy. That's what it is.
But no, look, all I'm saying is that when people you see a consistent pattern with people's performance in their job, and it's not like I'm not saying like fire the guy. Like if he has a ton of experience, he's been through a lot of different things already. Like maybe it's time to put him in a different role where he's no longer a liability. Maybe it's time to get some of these other people. Like I know I mentioned Cindy Walker, but there are numerous other people from what she said that are having their voices heard now from Phil, from Matt Booty. And now it was like they were all a part of this different messaging that's going on with Microsoft in the ramp up to their new console. They got the guy, I can't remember his name, but he used to work there, and he can't. They got him back from Netflix.
For Netflix, yeah. But Slow-Mo,
these are people.
Yeah, but I think that guy's Aaron's boss now, right?
Yeah, he's Aaron's boss. Yeah, you're right. He is. But Slow-Mo, let me ask you something. I'll ask you the panel. Like at the end of the day, does the buck stop at Phil though? Like he.
The last time I checked, it did.
Yeah, like so
But I mean,
he gets all the credit.
He can't sign off on every decision.
Y'all think Phil got 1,000 stacks of paper on his desk and he's signing off on everything?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
he would never get anything done if he was always micromanaging.
But
you don't think a stream this important that's showing off third-party gameplay for your next gen system isn't considered important?
I mean,
I'm sure you took a look at it.
I did find it funny that I don't think I saw a tweet from Phil Spencer after this.
Phil Spencer was nowhere near this show, bro. He stayed so far away.
So Forte, what are you saying? That he was a part of this?
He had to be. He's the boss. I mean, wait.
He signed off on this. He just wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, go ahead, E.
People to do a job. And
we was at home with Uniqua. And G Money was running the show. Remember?
Wait.
Nino put G Money in charge of the Carter, and he was at home with Uniqua.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
Wait, B. I want to ask you something, B, because I heard you chime in earlier. But B, let me ask you. He reports to Satya, oversee. Don't you think he's like? You think he's giving carte blanche? Hey guys, do what you gotta do. Just I don't care.
But
he's got to.
Enrique,
you cannot micromanage people.
I disagree with that. Wait, there's different. Go ahead, B. Go ahead, man.
If you ever been in any type of role of management, and you've had people work for you, you give them a job to do, you expect them to get it done.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's it.
I'll come on this.
So and once the job is done, you know what I mean, review it and make sure they completed it to your expectation. And if they did, good. And if they didn't, then you know what I mean, you make your suggestions for the next job that they're gonna do. But you don't micromanage everything that they're gonna do. Because if that's the reason for you being there, then you don't really need a team to work for you. Because you're doing all the work anyway.
Right.
Okay, B.
Checks and balances in this world.
I will counter.
There are checks and balances, but y'all act like he's signing off on every little thing that they do.
But B, wait, hold on. Like and I'll let you get in here, Forte.
No, go ahead, man.
B. I will say this.
So let me ask you something. Do Bill Gates sign off on everything Xbox do?
No, he's not. But he's not even. He's on the
board.
He's just on the board. He's not. Wait.
He's on the board. He's on the board.
Okay, but wait.
He's not gonna sign off on everything, but everybody that's underneath him should understand his philosophy on how he wants to push Xbox. So it shouldn't be something outstanding that is not a part of what Phil Spencer would approve of. That's how I feel like a good manager would. Look at Apple, right? When Steve Jobs died, Tim Cook took away because Tim Cook, who was Steve Jobs, understood the philosophy of Steve Jobs, and he just carried on that philosophy that Steve Jobs implemented. That's how I feel.
So Apple events, everything does not go by Tim Cook before they're allowed to show it.
Exactly.
I agree, but I'm just saying that they understand what Tim Cook would accept or what he would like.
But yo, hold up here. We got a super chat from Biggie 23.
Yeah, Biggie, woo!
$10 super chat. Appreciate that, bro. He said it's all Phil's fault. He's the one promising and stringing salty Nutella. Man, or whatever his name is. If he was at any other company performing like this, he would be gone. Okay, my bad. Go ahead. Continue, fellas.
You got another one that came in.
Oh, all right. Jiro Hanma. Man, I probably killed that. My bad, bro. $5 super chat. I think people realize OBJ the Don was in chat and they trying to spoil The Last of Us too. You know what? That's probably true, but regardless, they are trash individuals, whether they were doing it to get at one person or not. There are 167 people watching the stream right now, and many of them are probably looking at the chat as they're listening to us discuss these topics. It's not cool to post spoilers, period. You're a trash individual. I hope you get diarrhea in traffic.
Oh, wow. I've actually had that happen. It's not funny. So,
it's not.
I've had that actually happen in real life. No, I'd never had that happen. But look, I want to say something, but and to what Code said, there is, like, from a culture perspective, and what Code was saying, like, they don't sign, like Tim Cook doesn't sign off stuff, but there's a culture at Apple that exists, right? Maybe that culture is not there in terms of quality yet. And I think that like with everything that's happened, yeah, Phil should like sign off on this. Like, he should be involved. You are selling a new product. You were behind the ball. And people could be like, oh, Enrique, you know what you're talking about, blah, 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 Game Pass is great. That's not what I'm talking about. The fact of the matter is that you have two competitors that have consistently put out great quality content and products for 30 years, 30 plus in some instances, like I feel like there's got to be a level of quality control here at that level.
But the thing is, all right, how can I put this? How are you deciding the level of importance that they should place on each event? And why don't you think that Phil can trust his team to do a good job without a specific approval for him to put together a virtual show?
Oh, Lord.
All right, Code. So you just hit. Go ahead. So go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Forte. Go ahead. We got some super chats. Go Forte. Hit. Yeah.
So okay. Let me just ask this. So do we think now? I don't think Phil signs off on the inside Xboxes and stuff like that, because I think those are the monthly shows that he does entrust to his people. I just think this is the one show where you're talking next gen, you're saying gameplay. Now, if we're all thinking that just being an inside Xbox, that's why Phil Spencer wasn't involved in it. I mean, I can understand that because he hasn't been involved in any other ones. But it's just me being in management, being a manager of people. I trust all my people to do what they're supposed to do when it comes to their job. But there are certain milestones that happen that I have to be a part of. I have to at least know what the plan is going into it, and I have to at least okay what's being done. They can run the show. I just want to know exactly what they're doing in order to.
And how do you know which one of those are the important ones?
Oh no, well, okay, so are we basically saying that Phil Spencer saying that we're saying that this wasn't an important enough stream for Phil to probably sign off?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you can't say that it was. I don't know one way.
No. I'm just saying to me. I'm only talking about me. I can't speak for anybody else.
I think that Phil is definitely going to be on board with like their first party stuff.
Absolutely, he'll be running it.
That he probably trusted he's got somebody that's over like global partner networks or whatever it is. I think he trusts those people and that they are empowered to make decisions. Do I think that they could have run it by him? Sure. I mean, I don't think that that's beyond the realm of possibility, but I don't think that it's a requirement and there is no way he didn't see this first and all that. It could be true, but it just seems unlikely to me.
But then you also have, so and it's another thing. There were so many people involved in this stream.
Code, you damage controlling.
There's so many people.
Why?
I'm joking, man.
There was just so many people involved in the stream just to single out, I feel like to single out Aaron Greenberg just because he started and ended it. I mean, Matt Booty was up there.
No, I mean he's also the one that was hyping like the expectations of it on Twitter, which is hold on, let me say something real quick. So
Xbox as well. They said that this is the start of next gen.
I mean, it's not like Xbox didn't tweet out like that too.
They have hold on. They started this whole Xbox 2020 thing where they're going to be doing things like this every month until the Xbox Series X releases. That takes a lot of coordination with a lot of different people.
You got to coordinate.
You got to coordinate, and we haven't seen Aaron Greenberg really in this role with Inside Xbox at all. So, like, I think they kind of had to call him off the bench to try to get him, because maybe the people who are normally doing this
Craig
stuff
Hodges
or doing June or doing July or doing whatever's going to be in August. It's just like if you're doing something like this, then you need to have all hands on deck. And sometimes some stuff slips through the cracks. And to get back to my point about before about like how a lot of his tweets really hyped this up into something that it turned out to not be. I mean, is this guy going to Phil and go, hey, I'm about to send this tweet. Is this cool? He's probably not doing that. He's just tweeting.
The tweets don't have anything. I don't think the tweets.
That's not people got receipts on his tweets. It was like, I saw this and thought this is what it was supposed to be, and that wasn't it. This is his tweets that did that.
Look, man.
Hey, real quick, guys. Forte, real quick. I mean, interrupt you, man. I gotta get these super chats. We have Gaming with Persona. By the way, Persona is a great game. With the $2 super chats. Big shout out to my boy Jay Bari. And then we have the Ash and Luca, the mother of Slow-Mo and Forte. Says, what did she say? UG Rao Han Ma.
I don't know her.
I'm proud of guys. I don't know what she said. Okay. Thank you, Luca.
He is a proud ageist, just like Enrique. They both two ageist.
And by the way, yeah, ageist, I think. And by the way, big shout out to Jersey Wraith, which says with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. It says Greenberg has always been console warlord. Nothing new. It's bound to happen. And iDisney, by the way, Unreal Championship. Frostbite Engine is trash compared to Unreal Engine 5. Wait. Hey, wait. I'm gonna go. Hey, Jay Fonzarelli, Persona 5 is not trash. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is all I want to say because I think Slow-Mo's making the. I mean, I think his position is the most logical one.
As usual.
Wow.
Wow. Really, Slow-Mo?
That everything y'all saying is right. Let's say he did run it by Phil and Phil signed off on it and they had the show all lined up and everything was ready to go. The problem is those tweets from Greenberg is what reset expectations. And at that point, they don't know or they can't predict that, okay, this thing that we all work together to prepare, this man's tweets gonna set a whole different expectation. And now the crowd is not going to be pleased with what we had. So in either scenario, it is the tweeting that is the problem, not the show itself. And I doubt very seriously that he gets his tweets curated before they go out.
Yeah. I mean that would be
totally
if you got to curate his tweets before he tweets, you don't even need to have him in that position. He's marketing. And you gotta look at that's what marketing people have to do to people who don't know what to say. You know, like athletes who can barely talk and can barely type 2 sentences, right? They gotta send their stuff to someone before they tweet it out so they don't get in trouble. Like if you gotta do that to your marketing people, they don't need to be in that position. And again, I'm not saying kick him to the curb and have this guy unemployed during the pandemic. All I'm saying is don't have him in that role no more. Put someone else in that role that could do it better. Give someone else an opportunity that they may not have had, and maybe they'll step up and actually hit the shots that he don't hit. All I'm saying is the missteps have been seen. We know exactly who did it, and it's like this is something that can be corrected. He fell on his sword. That's great. Don't even give him the opportunity to do it again. Just be like, we've seen this before. As the previous super chat said, we know who he is. This is what he does, and I appreciate his passion for his platform. But you kind of a liability.
I mean,
they give attention, and any attention is better than no attention.
You can't cloud chase on the executive level like that, man.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I see it.
Probably don't even know what that means. Yeah. Huh? He probably don't even know what cloud chasing means.
Well, when you put on an Ori onesie, that's cloud chasing for the fans.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you, boy.
when you go through a Taco Bell drive-through with a Ori with a Xbox onesie on, that's cloud chasing. All right, you know it's gonna get a certain reaction.
Hey guys,
from certain people.
Yeah, that's a great point, E. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm gonna get this is actually a perfect segue right now. I think to this next topic. We have our brother Jay Fonzarelli, the Grounded Gamer, says with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it, sir.
Okay.
Says Ubisoft also sent a mixed message. Don't act like Ubisoft is the main reason people hated the show. They need to learn what gameplay means. Ubisoft did apologize
before that show, man. Y'all didn't want to listen.
I agree. I said it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
B-Money was holding it down. B-Money was like, man, here go the tweet. I'm going to find it for y'all. And y'all was arguing with it. B-Money said, don't expect no gameplay, damn it. And y'all argue. B-Money, you was right, man.
Hey, look. B was right. All I was saying was there was mixed messaging because,
but there wasn't mixed messaging for Ubisoft though.
No, there was mixed messaging.
No, there wasn't
because no. B
the Ubisoft Twitter account did. did tweet the incorrect stuff, saying that it was going to be debut of gameplay.
And their webpage had the same thing. I sent the screenshot in our Twitter DM. Their Twitter page was saying it too. The only person that was saying there wasn't going to be any gameplay was their director.
Before the director came out though and clarified it.
Like 4 minutes.
That was the same dude in the interview, the director.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because right after the trailer, I forgot to do Jeff Rubenstein. He was like, "We just see Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay," and he was like, "Yes." So he a liar too.
Look, man, that stream would have been the narrative of that stream would have been 100% different. I truly believe 100% difference. They would have showed gameplay for Assassin's Creed. Shout out to RDX, Grounded Gamer, and all them, because they talked about it right after their show. My boy Zarker, he actually went through all of the different streams for all the games once they posted the 4K 60 frames per second versions of them. And if you look at each individual one of those games, they were scoring like 80% or higher when it came to the dislike rate. As soon as you got to Assassin's Creed, it was like 25. Because that's the game that everybody wanted to see, and they were 100% let down by that one game. And then that just was a ripple effect for the rest of the show.
The show itself wasn't a bad show at all.
No, the show was good. I liked the show.
I thought it was a good show, but like throughout the whole show, there was plastering gameplay for Assassin's Creed. There was plastering gameplay all over the place. The flyer of the show had gameplay on there. It said gameplay.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, they showed gameplay for some of the other games. They showed less gameplay than I wish. I wish they would have showed more gameplay for the other games. But Assassin's Creed was the draw. And when the draw is like going to it's like going to a heavyweight fight and wanting to see the main event, and the main event ends in 2 seconds. It's like
knocking Enrique out.
All your money. Like, you feel like I spent. Some people are happy that they spent $2,000 to go see the main event or however much it costs just to be there. But some people are like, man, I ain't never doing that again because that was a waste of money. And for this, it was a waste of a lot of people's time, because as much as people want to see next gen games, it's cool. Bright Memory looked really good. It shocked a lot of people. A lot of people didn't know that was a game that was already out. And it looks way better than it looked on PC. So I will definitely say they did something there. But that's where well, compared to what I played the initial time, it was
that game looked good. That game looked good.
That game looked good the way they showed it off. That game looked good. And maybe it was just how stylized that part of the game is. But for me, I just felt like they started out at a high, and then it just went middle of the road for the rest of the show with spikes here and there. And then you get to the main event, the thing they've been hyping through the whole show for 30 minutes, and all you see them is throwing axes in circles and stuff. And I guess they consider that game in-game assets in an engine. That's the one thing I don't understand. When did the
girl screaming?
No, developers and code, I don't know. You worked on games before, so I just don't know why developers just had this idea that in-game assets they count as gameplay. Gameplay is literally controller in your hand, or at least the perception of a person playing the game with a controller in their hand, controlling the game like you would see if you were behind the sticks yourself. That is what gameplay is considered, not what we saw in a tech demo.
Forte, and that's actually what it's funny. That's actually what Mike Ibarra and Albert Pinello said. Yeah, and I can't say I was surprised by that, but that's exactly what they said. And by the way, I'm going to go to the super chat real quick. Another outstanding super chat from our buddy, the Grounded Gamer, Jay Fonzarelli. $2 super chat says, "I watched the show only for AC Valhalla." I think a lot of people probably watch the show for AC Valhalla. But I do want to segue to AC Valhalla because it has gotten a lot of flack. I know Jay Fonzarelli has tweeted that, hey, you know what? This game should be 60 frames per second, nothing less. It's Ubi-Soft is saying it's going to run at 30 frames per second. And I think a lot of us maybe came with the expectation.
That's misleading. That is 30 frames per second in 4K.
Yes, in 4K. That is true. So I'm going to go to here at a second code. But I think the expectation of a lot of people, Code, was that next generation consoles, better CPUs. You reduce that bottleneck. You have these more powerful GPUs, more powerful CPUs, SSDs, yada yada yada. That we wouldn't see games at 30 frames per second. But Code, does this go back to what you've been saying and preaching for a long time about weaker hardware?
Actually, no, not this time. No, I would love to be able to jump on that and say like, yeah, I was right, but no, they're completely unrelated. The problem with AC Valhalla is that they're still using DirectX 11. I mean, it will highlight the thing that I've been screaming from the mountaintop about is the dev talent and the tools that they have to work with. And right now, they're not able to use DX12 Ultimate. So they are using DirectX 11. And I'll tweet the chart later, but there's a chart that showed that even with Assassin's Creed Odyssey running on a 2080 Ti, they could not hit 60 frames per second in 4K. And it's because of DirectX. It has
native 4K.
Yep, native 4K.
But they could hit 60 frames on PC though.
Not at 4K.
That's not what I'm asking though. They could hit.
For which game? Odyssey?
No, yeah, Valhalla.
Well, either no.
For Valhalla, yeah. So I mean, like Valhalla's probably.
You're talking about Odyssey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm talking about Odyssey, and Valhalla is off the same engine as Odyssey. Remember, Odyssey just released last year, right? Like they haven't had a long cycle to get this game ready.
I mean, I can run Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 90 frames.
I think you can run Odyssey with a 2080 Ti and like say a
no, I think it's 4K
i9 9900K CPU at 4K 60.
I'll get the graph.
It doesn't stay 60 because I watched it actually not too long ago.
No,
because I feel like I've seen benchmarks of it before.
No, I'll get the source in a minute. Like I said, the chart's been floating around Twitter.
Yeah, it runs like 45 frames, 48 frames. Yeah. It bounces around a lot.
In 4K. Now, of course, if you drop it down to 1440, everything changes. But we are strictly talking about 4K. So it is an unrealistic benchmark. Even GPUs that are better than the Series X cannot do this. So it's not a slight on the Series X at all. All it shows is that they had limited time and budget, and they started using the DirectX 11 to be able to make their deadline, and they haven't upgraded their dev process to use DX12 Ultimate yet. When they do, this will be a non-issue. So this is not really representative of things to come, but there's more to a game cycle than just what the GPU does and what the CPU does. It's the tooling. The dev tools and the skill of the development team is vital.
Hey, Code.
But you know what?
Wait, real quick. I'm sorry, Forte. Real quick, Code. I got to pay the bills real quick. Biggie 2316 with the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says the boot up screen was in 8K at 120 frames per second. Laughing out loud. That's funny. But Code, this is what you know. What's funny? He's like, this is what you've been preaching and talking about on this show for a long time. That tools, right?
Yeah.
And so, but let me ask something, Code, and then I'll get to Forte. And please, anyone else on the panel, please chime in as well. But is this like it? Because a lot of people like are upset about this. Like, or no, they're saying these games should be in 60 frames per second. This is not acceptable. Is that realistic expectation to say that's not acceptable, or is the reality of the matter is that hey, they just don't have the tools right now, given the hardware of the capabilities of the most powerful console in the world to make this happen?
They do have the tools. They just so the tooling is available, right? But anytime you're building software of any type, game, apps, it doesn't matter what it is, you are always limited by time and budget. Give a dev team enough time, they can build whatever you want. The thing is if you only have a year or two to get ready, you got to start building right away. And you're going to use the most mature tools that are available at the time, which for their dev cycle was DX11. Now, the public at large, they're not going to care. Like a lot of people don't even know what DX12 Ultimate is. And the reason a lot of the fanboys know what it is because they want to try to use it to win an argument of some sort, but they really don't know what it is and what it does. So they use the tooling that they had when they started their dev cycle, and they have a timeline that they have to meet this launch window. So there's no time for them to fully upgrade their process to use the new tooling. So they're doing the best they can with what they have.
Right. Now, so this goes back to what my whole problem, what I think with this whole next generation could end up being, and it's starting to show its ugly head right now at the very beginning of it. Slow-mo, let me ask you a question. You asked me a question. You asked me a question in the DMs asking me about what frame rate and resolution my neighborhood runs in. What did I say?
I think you said 1440p at 60 frames per second.
That is exactly what I said. So this basically just tells me that these developers are still going to develop for the look of a game, the graphical fidelity of a game. They're not going after the frame rate. They're not going to go after how the actual game feels and performs. They're going to go after the one thing that's marketed it the most, which is the looks and the 4K moniker on it. The fact that now we don't know this, but the fact that they're promoting it as 4K 30. There could be a 1440p 60 frames per second option. There could be a 1080p 60 frames per second option. But they're going to market this game that way, and that kind of irritates me because I'm a type of person that likes to know what I'm getting before the game is actually released. This makes me not want to buy the game on Xbox because I'm thinking
you know it before it's released.
Well, no, but the biggest thing, I know on my PC, I'm going to be able to run this game at 60 frames per second at 1440p, no matter what graphics card I have. If I upgrade to the 3080 Ti, whenever that does release, I know it's going to do it. My 1080 Ti will do the same thing.
Nobody cares about trash PC users. They're marketing.
Whoa. That's that is blasphemy, sir. That is blasphemy, Code. You know it because you're upgrading to a 30 series.
These men and women are out here trying to make money, and they are
money. What? So you can't give me an experience that's gonna make me want to buy?
You probably try to pirate it.
No, pirate what? I don't have to. Microsoft gives us. I don't have to pirate games, sir, because I get everything for free.
I like this dude, man.
I don't have to.
Code is trolling. Code is trolling right now.
No, so the biggest problem with this is I just don't understand why we're in this narrative where the next generation is supposed to be about performance, but we're still talking about the graphical fidelity of a game instead of the performance.
Before who said that next generation is gonna be about performance? Is that something that gamers mandated to these devs?
That's what Xbox came out and said. Now, granted, Xbox is gonna do that themselves, and I did tell people this. I said, listen, when they say for performance is going to be king on the Xbox, that's Xbox games. That means first party games. When Greenberg came out and said 60 frames per second is going to be standard, that means Xbox games are going to be standard. I understand that third party can do whatever the heck they want to do. It's just disappointing to know that power is there. Now, if you can't get 4K, that's fine. But I still want to know that, dude, is this game going to at least have a 60 frame per second mode that I can still dive into and play the game the way I want to play it? That's the great beyond when it comes to PC. Being able to play how you want to play.
And
consoles supposed to be that way now.
Let Code chime in real quick, and then go ahead, Slow-mo, and they got to get a super chat real quick, but go ahead.
Well, I'm not even trolling when I say this, though. Forte, you're thinking like a PC gamer, and they're not talking to you. What they're doing is they're talking to the console gamers. They're trying to establish market on the console, and I certainly believe that there will be an option same like Resident Evil 3. Okay, 4K is what we're targeting. We're going to get it out at 4K because this is what the marketing message is. But right away, we'll have a patch, or they may have it beforehand, where we'll have a performance mode. If you look at the Pro and the One X, it's always you want a resolution mode or performance mode, and you get to pick. But that level of granularity that you want as a PC gamer, I'm not sure they're going to introduce that much control to consoles because it's just not worth the effort.
That's actually what I was about to talk about. I posted a video in the Discord talking about what we were saying a couple minutes ago about Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 4K 60. it is possible on PC at ultra settings, but you gotta have literally the best of the best. You have to have the best CPU overclocked for 5 gigahertz. You gotta have a 2080 Ti, and that is the only way that you're going to be able to go ultra 4K and 60. And but the thing is that like that's not really how PC gamers play.
They don't.
We can get whatever frames we want. I sent a tweet out a couple of days ago. They got people mad when I said Assassin's Creed Valhalla going to be whatever frame rate I say it's going to be on my PC, because all I gotta do,
preach, Slobo.
Go to advanced graphical settings and turn things up, turn things down. I will get whatever frame rate I feel like getting. And that's all. I mean, I play Odyssey on my PC with a 2070 Super at 75 frames per second at 1440p, and I don't have it all ultra. I have a couple of settings set down to just high.
But Slow-mo, does it look better than console?
Yeah, hell yeah, it looks better than console. But look, that's not even the point. The point is that if you really want 60 frames per second across the board, you're not going to get that with consoles. You're just not. And they don't. You're taking all the control away from you.
But Slow-mo,
because they make that choice for you.
But Slow-mo, isn't the selling point of these next gen consoles that we are supposed to get better? And people think better is 60 frames per second.
Well, how many?
But we don't know. We don't know the definition of better is.
Yeah, they did give you better, but just not in the way that you want better. You're still getting the same frame rate, but then the visuals look better. It looks more photorealistic.
I wonder.
Wait, I want to say something real quick, and this is and I'll let you get in here, Forte. But let me ask you something, Code. Like, can't they scale back like native 4K, whatever the case is? Can't they do something 1440p and upscale to increase the frame rates? Like, can't they do that? Like, I don't think this is out of the realm of a possibility. By the way, big shout out to the 312 viewers that are watching us right now. Appreciate the support. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they could actually get to 60 frames per second at some point. Like, the game's not even released yet, right? Like, at some point in crunch, Code, couldn't they get to 60 frames per second?
I know that's a dangerous game you're playing. So again, they have a marketing message and they have a plan that the dev team, the publisher, whatever their advertising is, they've got it set up what they want their message to be, and they're going to try to make sure that they can meet those expectations. The average gamer that they're selling to doesn't care about the stuff you're talking about. You need to understand that you are not the majority. You actually a very, very small minority. Most of the people that will buy that game and play it, 100 million sold or whatever it is, a very, very tiny percentage of those is going to be the gold chain gamers. That being said, I certainly believe that at some point they will have an option for the gold chain gamers. Yes, I don't think that they will focus on that, adding extra crunch or using their crunch to make sure that they meet that. I don't know what they're going to do, of course, but that sounds awfully risky to me. I think you try to hit your goals, and then, again, just like Resident Evil 3, after we've been able to release, we've gone to Gold Master, we've hit all our targets, now we will look at releasing a patch with a lower resolution for higher frame rate.
Look, man, I just want to know. It's funny to me because a bunch of games have performance modes and stuff. I would love to see some data on what people, because a lot of these systems are connected to online enough to actually get a really good sample size of who plays at what. Because, like, I'm thinking, as much as God of War doesn't run at a full 60 frames per second when you're playing it in performance mode, it was still better than playing it at the 4K mode because it still ran at a consistent like 45 to 50, which was still better than 30. We got games like Forza Horizon 5 that you have the performance 4K 30 frames, and you got the checkerboard version that goes up to like 1800p that runs at 60 frames. It's like, to me, I would love to see what that number comes out to, because I don't know for sure, but it just feels like everybody I know they'll take the game however it is. But if they have an option to make the game run and feel better, that is the gold standard for those people. Now, for me, I feel what you're saying, Cole, saying you're speaking like a PC person. I jump between my Xbox and PC more than everybody on this damn show. I'm going back and forth all the time. That's because I don't show a favoritism. I just play wherever my friends are. It sucks coming back to console and doing it, but guess what? That's what I like to do. I want the system to be able to accommodate people that want to go back and forth. They aren't just selling to people that play on PC. They're selling to everybody. Give us the options that we need to do that.
Listen to what you just said. That like you made my point for me. You have said of the minority of people, I'm an even smaller minority than even that already small group, because I'm one of few people that go back and forth. They're not focusing on you first. I'm sorry to tell you, but they just not.
Yeah, but it baffles me I understood this in past generations when these systems were built on different platforms, where all of this stuff, Xbox is pretty much a PC at this point. A PS5 is basically a PC at this point. Yes, they have closed architects where they can actually code to the metal of the system and make it run and perform as best as it can be because they know what's in those boxes, but they start on a PC. It's no way that you cannot scale this down to it. I mean, look, you lose as you go down. We all know that. PC is the gold standard when it comes to the way you want your games to look and feel. Even those are kind of broken sometimes because they don't port the stuff right. But then when you get the console, they take too much away. Like, why can't we have the best of both worlds? And some games like Tomb Raider do that. Some games give us that 60 frames per second option, but then they give us the ultra settings and everything where the game still runs and looks phenomenal. Because
real quick, guys, I gotta go to the super chat real quick.
That's the problem. Ubi-Soft is never mind.
Real quick, Wraith the Emperor with the $2 super chat. Thank you. Ray says you think they pull a Gears 5 and not show Halo. But I
don't see that happen.
Yeah, I want to say something. I want to go to a Code here real quick. Is Code? Let me tell you something. What I'm seeing on Twitter. I see people saying things like, "I wouldn't encourage anyone to excuse developer choice for 30 frames per second when the next generation consoles are more than capable of higher resolution and 60 frames per second on most anything."
So, I mean, it's my same response. Given enough time and budget, the dev team can do a lot of things. But if they're constrained by time and they have a smaller budget or a small window and the tooling is not available, they're going to use the tools that are available to them. And everyone knows that the first set of games don't really showcase the potential. And so given the tools that they're working with, like, what do you want them to do? For those people, I would say, quit your job, go make a game, deliver it to us with DX11 at 60 frames a second, and show everybody how it's done.
And that's what I think for Code. I think the one thing that, I agree with you for the most part on everything that you're saying. The biggest problem here is the fact that they're using the Odyssey. They're basically porting over what they used in Odyssey, and this game was made a year ago. And it's not enough time for them to rebuild the game the way they need to. I understand why it's doing what it is. I just feel like, because like I said, there will more than likely be a mode that's going to give you a performance mode in this game.
No, I don't think so.
Now, if it isn't,
no. Look, Forte, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think so. Because it's Ubisoft. And I can't think of very many games.
That's true.
That Ubisoft has made where on console they're like last gen they did not like really like go towards 60 frames per second. Most of their games were 30 frames per second games. I think maybe Rainbow Six Siege and maybe For Honor are 60, maybe. But I know both Division games.
Rainbow Six is.
Yeah, both Division games are 30. Wildlands is 30. I think Breakpoint is 32 as well. Like they did 30 frame and they didn't give you performance modes, and they could have did that then. They could very easily do that. And I'm not gonna say easily, but they could do that. They just turn down whatever resolution they have the game at, turn down some of the settings, increase your frame rate. They could do that, but they don't. Because that's how Ubisoft rolls.
So they
could implement crossplay.
So they're
they won't.
Let our special guest Jay Barry go ahead.
Guest.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Ben.
Can I ask you that question? What are you guys clamoring for higher frame rates for? Like what do you get? What are you getting out of it? I kind of know the reason, but I just want to hear from you personally. What do you want those frame rates for?
You asking those fighting words.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot of trash on Twitter, but higher frame rates are tough to overcome, man. It is glorious.
No, bro. I feel like a fish out of water when I go from 60 to 30. It's like the game. First of all, people don't know this. There is a difference in the visual quality of a game that's running at 30 and that same game running at 60. The game it visually looks better to you when you do it. And then on top of that, the controls are double the response. They just feel better overall. You don't feel like you're walking through mud as you're playing the game and feel like you're on the Titanic swaying back and forth before it goes down.
I know that exaggerated, but what he's saying is
I'm being very exaggerated about that. You're right.
But Cole, there is something to say for that, man. Like playing a game like Sekiro on PC at lock 60 frames per second is a completely different experience from playing it on console.
It definitely takes more skill to play on console for sure.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when I hear, oh, go ahead, 14. My bad.
No, go ahead, Bart. Go ahead, Jay.
All I was gonna say was like whether it's a single player game that's like a narrative experience. The higher the frames, the smoother the gameplay looks, the better the animation is for the characters. If it's competitive PvP, the higher the frames, the better it is for. And it actually, there is a proven fact it can make you a better gamer. There is a. It's not going to make you.
Oh, you mean something like 1080p can make you a better gamer?
Like that. Yeah, it does. It's not going to make you an elite gamer, but it is better than playing with less frames. The more frames you have, the better you can see enemies moving.
Like
the more chances you have to actually hit your target. It's just better overall with more frames. This is why a lot of people, I understand it, because I was kind of like that at one point with console gamers, where they'll be like, why PC gamers playing at 1080p? Well, the guys that play at 1080p are also playing at over 200 frames per second. So it's a different, and then they're playing at ultra settings because their graphics card can handle that, and it's a different experience. I would say, like, try it for once. Just try it out. You might actually
don't do it for long though.
Sorry about that. But
the reason why Barry plays a lot of Call of Duty, right? Mm-hmm. So Barry, you know how Call of Duty feels.
Oh, you would love it, bro. You would love it.
The game. The game runs at 60 frames.
The thing is, the reason why, because I study frames. Like, I play a lot of fighting games. I play games at high frame rates. Mm-hmm. When I see people talk about they want high frame rates, they're not talking about anything except slow-mo just brought up is what I was looking for when someone asked that question. Because I think about high frame rates, I'm talking about the animation. I want to studying frame rates and stuff like that. Looking at the startup frames, your active frames, your recovery frames, stuff like that, even in the third person game. But when Nathan Drake is rolling or stuff like that in high frame rates, I can see that because it's much better to analyze those active and recovery frames. Like, how people play online and like, damn, how did I didn't kill that guy, man? How did I kill that guy? I'm mostly times when I see people complain about stuff, I'm looking at them like, yo, you're in recovery frames. You can't even get that gun up right there to shoot that person. But people don't analyze those things like that. So I'm trying to think about where people keep talking about these higher frame rates and stuff like that, because most of the reason why I see people talk about it is because they want to see the games run a little more fluid. I mean, which is fine. That's part of your reason, but I just think frames is just much more than just making a game look more fluid.
Absolutely. You notice it when you go from those, because that's the one thing me and Slow-Mo, when we was playing Destiny on PC and we would go back to console and play with people, it's like once you get used to like going back from 60 to 30, you kind of feel like a god when you go back and you play on console, because you're just anticipating everything a lot faster in your head, and you're actually just looking like everything just happens a little bit faster for you you when you go backwards. Now, if you stay on 30 frames, then you kind of normalize yourself and you get back to just the average way that the game plays. But going back and forth kind of just it's very jarring.
Like for me, like Forte, like you say that, like for me, to me, it's not jarring. I don't like. I'm not trying to damage control for 30 frames a second, but it doesn't hinder me. Like a lot of the times where these games have these performance modes and their high resolution modes.
Well, what games are you playing though?
I'm taking the high res mode all day because I want my game looking pristine and clean. You know what I mean? Rather
but
than
what games are you playing though?
I play all the games.
I mean, because Call of Duty runs at 60 frames per second on console.
Well, let me know real quick, y'all, because so I want to address the issue of they can just drop it to 1440p and like give me an option and like let it go at that.
I mean, that might not even work, honestly. You never know.
So the thing is, so that part, like that's not as easy as y'all think it is. Like I keep hearing all this stuff, like all they have to do is X. Like that phrase really annoys me. Like all they have to do is X. So that's not true, number one. And if you take each one, there are 7 people on the panel. If you took each 7 of us and you gave us a PC and you said, change your settings, run it at 1440p, but get your settings the way you want. You can't have ultra. I would bet that each one of us would have a different value for each of the settings because as individuals, we will decide what level of graphic fidelity is comfortable for us. Okay, we cool with this, and let's run it so we get 95 frames. Okay, well, I might sacrifice 15 more because I want to increase shadows over here, so I'm running at 80, but that's cool. But either way, I'm at 60. What graphical fidelity we each are content with will be dependent on each of us, and there's not one universal setting. When they go down to 1440, what they have to do is come up with a set of graphic fidelity settings where they are saying this is representative of our game at 1440p with whatever frame rate that we expect most people to be happy with, because they're never going to give you that level of granularity with a PC. So it's not as easy as just dropping some settings and say, here's your 14.
I get that.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I didn't mean to insinuate it was just like it was nothing.
I was talking about on Twitter somebody just
but Goat,
it
does seem like if you don't know, you don't know, right? It does seem like it's easy to do. You know what I mean? And that's why we have you on the show, is you kind of break that down, even though your credentials are in question, because I
don't know, man. Ask the people on Twitter. Sometimes I think that is.
Right?
They be coming after that man's credentials every day.
Real quick, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Biggie2316 who again with a $2 super chat says, "Woo, Facts Forte." Thank you, Biggie. That's very insightful, by the way, man, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because you gave us a lot of insight. Because I like that tweet I just read to you. There's this assumption out there that I could just be dumbed down to a 1440p. And boost it up to 60 frames per second, because you do see that on PC that you have the option to do that, right? So maybe
you would control all of that whole spectrum.
And the idea is that if you could do it on PC, maybe in terms of controlling that, then you could do it on console too, right? It's a flick of the switch, right? And then people get lost to the fact that that these things are, the Xbox Series X at 12 teraflops and the blah, 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 blah. And so they're kind of dumbfounded by the fact that this game isn't running at 60 frames, Well,
it's 60 frames in 4K. We got to quit with that blanket statement. It's not running 60 frames. We don't know if they will have a lower res option with 60. What we know is that it's not 60 4K. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that considering Ubisoft's history, I would say that's probably unlikely.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah.
All right, guys, I want to transition because this goes into more of technical stuff. so I want to say something. Y'all can get mad at me. I don't care. Like Code says, I ain't scared of you. Let me tell you something. Today, Epic Games. You can old Lord all you want. Woo! You can old Lord all you want, Forte.
I got the smoke for you. Go ahead.
You got no smoke. You got no smoke. You got no smoke at all, sir.
I got
None.
the smoke for you. Go
no,
ahead.
you don't. You don't have any smoke. You don't have any smoke.
Go ahead and put the cigar in your mouth. I got the lighter.
No. Yeah, and you gotta light my cigar from Celebration.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me tell you something.
It might be TNT. You might want to watch out.
Today, Forte.
Mm-hmm.
Epic Games and Sony showed us what next generation is gonna look like.
Oh God! And Sony.
And, well, I mean, it wasn't running on a PlayStation 5 console.
Okay, continue.
Was
it not Forte?
Wait. Hey, you know what, Forte? Hold on. You know what? That's bullshit. Let me tell you something, Forte. Was it not running on a?
Man.
Wait, you think this is accident? Man. You don't think this was a partnership? Or did Epic pull a name out of a hat? Was Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5 in that hat? No, sir, it was not. It was not in the hat. It wasn't some random draw. This is a lottery, son. This is real life.
Oh, you in your bag? Oh,
yeah, I'm in my bag, sir. I'm in my bag. Let me tell you something.
Oh, we just finally got
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is real life, sir. Yes.
We finally got to the topic where Enrique felt like he can go boss up on us.
Yes, I am going boss. Because you want to tell you something.
Sir.
Epic and PlayStation 5 came boss, sir. They showed what next gen could look like. Woo! That's what they did.
You're talking to Mean Gene right now.
Yeah, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something,
I was
Slow-Mo.
definitely waiting for Enrique to yell Wu-Tang somewhere in there. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you something. The Shadowland and the PlayStation 5. Let me tell you something. They showed, and Jay Barr, I know you feel me. Jay.
Cutting the WWE
I'm feeling you. I'm getting
Yeah.
I know you feel me, Jay. Let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something.
After this one.
Let me tell you something. They came out there, and look, I'm not trying to throw shade at Microsoft. Like they showed some great games, but they didn't get to the punch first. They didn't get to the. They had the opportunity to show us what next gen would look like, and I got people out there. Oh, it's not a Sony event. I get that. It's not a Sony event. But if you don't,
just said it. You basically just said it was though.
But no, I didn't say that. If you don't think
you said in partnership with Sony,
a partner. This
meaning Sony was a part of this event.
Yes, exactly. They were part of this. This did not happen by accident. They didn't draw a name out of the hat. It wasn't drawing straws. Forte, you think they went in a room and draw straws?
Enrique, can I ask my question to Cole now that I was going to ask him earlier?
I will. One second, Slow-Mo, because I want to address Forte and his doubt.
He's onto something right now.
Because let me tell you something.
My bad. Let me sit back.
This was done in concert, and they did the same thing with the PlayStation 4 and the Unreal Engine 4. If you guys remember that, they did the same thing.
And what did they show there?
They showed a demo, and let me tell you something.
A demo of what?
Of a game.
Of what game?
It doesn't. Let me tell you something.
Was it a game?
Forte.
Did we see that? Was that actually
wait. Forte.
Did that release for us to play on?
Oh, okay. It didn't release, but let me tell you something.
I'm just saying. Forte. No, you're the one that. Hey, Forte. I'm just walking you back through the mud that you walked through. I'm
going to walk you back too. Let me tell you something.
Okay, I got my leash.
Yes, that Unreal 4. Come on, man. That Unreal 4. You wow, man. That Unreal Engine 4. Let me tell you something. That demo.
5 or 4? You mean 5?
4. I'm talking about 4. I'm going back because PlayStation did this with Unreal, with Epic.
Keep
before.
Him on track, somebody.
Unreal Engine 4.
You don't know his Unreal numbers no more.
Is that has to do with his age? Is that what you're trying to
say? That's what she said.
Oh wow. Let me tell you, Code is a player. Let me tell you something. Don't hate him.
Where did Code name come from?
Yeah, I think he was talking about you, Enrique.
I was talking about Code. All right, let me say something, Forte. So they did a similar thing with the PlayStation 4 and the Unreal Engine 4 demo. We didn't see a game, but let me tell you something. What happened? If you go back and look at that Unreal Engine 4 demo on the PlayStation 4, we've surpassed that already. This generation, we got a glimpse. We absolutely have. Go back and look at it. And if you don't believe me,
you talking about viewers?
No, man. I'm talking about.
Or you just talking about graphical fidelity?
I'm talking about the graphics, man. Not the views, man.
Forte, you sounding real Xbox right now. I need you to fall back.
I'm just trying to look for the same. I'm just waiting for the energy. Come on, I'm just
Forte. Let me tell you, Forte bleeds green behind the screens. If you know what I mean.
No, I criticized the hell out of Microsoft for that last stream, but
yeah, but you always put a button there.
I don't put no button there. There's no button there.
Yeah. Okay.
Go check my 2 videos done on it. Go check it.
So let me tell you. So here's the thing. Yeah, you do it for views.
Wow. He ain't in it for the love. He in it for the views.
Oh man, y'all
I would make more videos than I make if I was in it for the views. Sir.
Hey, let me tell you something. Slow-mo's energy is percolating to this podcast. So,
I like how he just blamed it all on Slow-Mo.
Sound
like me.
So look, let me tell you something. So right now. If you go back to that demo of Forte, that Unreal Engine 4, we have surpassed that already.
Right.
And so
I would hope so.
And so Unreal Engine 5, what we saw the demo, was the first thing that we've seen that shows us a glimpse of what next gen is going to. You know what? You can say a glimpse all you want, but let me tell you something. I've talked. Look,
I just finished your sentence. That's all I was doing.
No, but I know what you're doing, Slim. I know what you're doing, Forte.
He did it again, yo.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna keep happening. Forte, the name is interchangeable at this point.
Like you guys are brothers, man. You have the same mother. You know, you guys are brothers. You guys are like the Wayne brothers. Look,
hi, Mom. Ashley Luca.
So look, Forte, they have, but this is a glimpse into next generation. I think this is a lot. This is what we wanted to see in terms of what next generation consoles. Because we know PC is going to blow that out of the water. This is a glimpse into what the future looks like for console games, and I was blown away. I was honestly blown away. I was, first of all, the in the cave when the characters walk in the cave, the global illumination. Epic said they scanned the rocks, scanned it in movie quality 8K textures.
Ain't on the PS5.
The sound in the demo, the rocks collapsing. Epic said they scanned the sound from a real life cave, and put that in the game. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, let me tell you. So you got 8K texture graphics, 16 billion triangles. Billions.
Somebody took some notes.
Triangles of source geometry.
Really good notes too.
Buds reacting to the light.
The nanite geometry.
Yes, yeah. Bugs reacted to the light that wasn't scripted.
Okay.
You telling me this is a next gen? I mean, seriously, this is what
he's saying. It ain't next gen. I think he's saying PlayStation didn't have nothing to do with it.
Well, but it was running on the PlayStation 5, and I
agree with you. I don't know what
I will say this.
Going off of everybody keeps saying that Sony had nothing to do with it, but then in the same breath, everybody want to say, well, it was running on the PlayStation 5 in conjunction with what Sony wanted to do.
But why would you guys think that it's running on? Why would you guys think that Epic would choose the PS5 to show off this the new engine?
Because they wanted to show the best version possible. That's easy.
Okay. That is the question I've been trying to ask. I'm typing me off every time I try to ask the question.
Before we get into that though, before we get into Slow-Mo's question, because I think it is a valid question and I want to hear Code's answer. But we also got to look at, you know what I mean, when they showed this engine off, if you go back to any time any other engine is being showed off, whether it's Unreal or the Luminous engine or any other engine, they usually just show like in asset, you know what I mean, parts of the engine, you know what I mean, so you can kind of get a look at what the engine can do as far as graphical fidelity. But this time they actually made a demo and it was playable, so it was like they actually walked you through what, you know what I mean, what that engine can actually do and what it will look like in real gameplay. So this is totally different than what we've seen before. And that's why I think a lot of people were impressed by it.
I was impressed by the demo. Absolutely.
It's definitely impressive.
Yeah.
Nobody was worrying about 60 frames, 90 frames. You just like, yo, this
Talk
looks
about
great.
It
Hold
was
on,
running. What was it running at?
Say that again. Say it with the chest this time.
You said Forte?
Didn't that demo run at 30 frames per second, 4K 30?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but when you was watching it, was you thinking about the frame
Exactly.
rate?
No, say it with your chest, man. Forget Forte.
What's he thinking about the
Go
frame
ahead,
rate?
Jay.
man?
Flex, Jay. Let him know what's up. Tell him something, brother.
Optimus, I got the best list on YouTube. I don't want to come out too much, so that's why.
No, you come, Jay. Let me tell you something. Hey, free speech here. You hit him, man. Let him know what's up, man.
First of all, I was when I watched it on the stream because shout out to Unreal. They posted the video like what 4 or 5 minutes before Sony did, well, not Sony, before they did the live stream of it. So I actually saw that demo beforehand. So watching it in that stream, there was a huge difference in quality, and you could definitely see the difference in the frame rate because it was a little bit more consistent at 30 frames per second. There's nothing wrong with looking at 30 frames per second on the screen. It's when you're playing and interacting with it, what is the difference? The stream, it looked phenomenal. I don't have a problem with any way that the freaking thing looked. That is what next generation is going to look like. Guess what? Hats off to you. I have no problem with that. My whole problem is everything that happened after the stream. Like, we sat there for 30 minutes listening to people talk about it. Now, some people got off.
You can turn it off. You can turn it off, Forte.
They talking about next gen.
Look, I can't
They're talking about next gen. You can turn it off. You play Destiny, which is trash. You spend all the time on Destiny. You can turn it off.
That's the problem that we have today, right? Everybody like to tune off those things and they try to make fun. They put the Z's and all that stuff. But when you listen to it, there's a lot of viable information that's coming out from it, especially if you're interested in getting a PlayStation. They was bigging up that PlayStation.
In Xbox stream too when they did it, and people still were mad. So but those same people weren't mad when this happened on this one.
So what's your point?
I don't know about
Cody's got no point. He's got no
who
point.
all is mad and whatnot. But if you truly are interested, you know what I mean, they gave some very interesting information.
They gave you interesting points on what it was.
I wasn't mad at this one because Epic nor Jeff Keighley didn't lie to me prior to the stream. So there was no expectation of something that I didn't get. Now I know there were some people who thought they were going to get a game reveal, and that was all their own thought process.
Yeah.
There was nothing that said ahead of time it was going to be a game reveal. That's just considering what Jeff Keighley showed yesterday with Tony Hawk Remastered. People just automatically assumed that this was going to be another game reveal today, and it wasn't, and they got disappointed. I completely understand that, but that's all on them, and that's somewhat different than Microsoft setting up an expectation and then not delivering. Now I'm going to segue into my question, and I'm asking
wait, before you can't go there just yet.
No, I'm asking the question, damn it.
And they want to ask that question for half an hour.
For an hour and a half. Every time I'm about to ask it, Enrique wanted to interject so he can argue with Forte some more. This is my question to Code, because Code said something at the beginning of the show that I want clarification on. Now, I think I know where he's going with this, but you said that you think that Epic ran this gameplay demo, this tech demo, on the PS5 because it could not be done on the Xbox Series X. Do you say that due to the ending part where that character is flying through the air?
Ooh, that was gorgeous, wasn't it?
It was beautiful, but there was zero popping whatsoever, and that very fast
it was all real
with the throughput.
Man,
it was all real time.
That it being double what Xbox Series X throughput is the reason why they ran that on the PS5, and if not, what is your rationale for that thought?
All right, so what I think, so people are confusing two different things. So you have the Unreal Engine, and then you have the demo that was made using the Unreal Engine.
Right.
Like you have different games on different platforms are built using Unity or Unreal or Frostbite, whatever it is.
Yeah, so, they're just tools. They're just tools to
exactly
use. Right.
And so people have said that, well, because they said that Unreal Engine will also run on Xbox, that it also means that demo will run on Xbox.
Hey, Code, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've also seen people say that demo will run better on Xbox Series X. But go ahead.
Well, so better is a subjective term, and it's going to depend on what people mean by better. But what I am saying is that demo that we saw today could not run on the Series X. And like they could maybe
wait, Code. What do you mean he can't?
Enrique, can you let him finish?
No, because I'm not throwing softballs at him. I want hard questions right now. So I want to know, Code. You haven't been in game development for years. How do you know this? And two, with the teraflops, brother, and you know.
Talk about the T bags, the T flops.
Yeah, the T flops and the everything else. The Series X and the tools, DX12 Ultimate, 1,000,000 times 12.
Machine learning.
How are you telling me that
machine learning is fire? Don't get it twisted.
No, it is. It really is. I'm just saying that like jokingly, but I mean like how are you saying, Code, that this can't be done? Come on, the most powerful console in the world, man.
So, like I've said, I don't know how many hundreds of times already. There is no one component that is greater than the others. A system is only as strong as its weakest link, and you need the entire system working together in harmony. It's the synergy between the parts. And for this demo, what they focused on is making sure that they could get the best performance, highlighting all of the high-level features that they wanted to. And clearly they chose the PS5 for this because of the I/O throughput, how they were calculating things on the fly, dynamically loading things in and out of RAM, processing it, moving on to the next thing. All of that was done on PlayStation because it would give you this best experience. Now, could this exact same demo run on the Series X? No, but they could probably get this demo and build it or have it take advantage of some of the features of the Series X. It won't be like this.
Well, I have to downscale a little bit, Cole. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it would depend on what way, but it's like they could get pretty good performance or like decent performance, but not what we saw today.
That's what the guy was hinting at today in the meeting, where he was talking about the PS5, where the PS5 is he said pretty much like it was like they were pioneering with the PS5 architecture and that, piece doesn't even have comes to the SSD that the PS5 has. And
exactly,
he asked the question like, so what does that mean for like other platforms? Basically, he was pretty much saying that it's not going to perform like this how we can do it here on the PS5, but the engine can downscale itself of the platform so it can fit where it's needed. What code is.
Yeah.
And I mean, people got mad at me when I said that they got a downscale for the Series X. They got mad at me. Why they get mad at me, man?
Yeah, Jay. I mean, I heard the same thing, but Code. I mean, the thing is that people look at the greater number. They assume the greater number means it better, right?
I mean, how many thousand times do I have to say not equal a better game? I don't know where that came from, but just stop it. That is not true. Teraflops don't make things good. Teraflops makes things possible.
So, Code.
Dev skill, talent, and tooling is what makes things good.
So, Code, another thing is, and I'm questioning your answers here because you haven't developed games in a while. Again, so the community needs to know these things. So the other thing is, I've seen that they showed global illumination, right? Which is my understanding of ray tracing versus global illumination is ray tracing it looks better, but it's not as fast as global illumination, right? It's slower.
Okay.
So, but I've seen people say, "Oh, okay, well, this game's going to look better on Xbox because of ray tracing capabilities on Xbox." What do you say to that?
Well, again, I mean, I can't say anything to that because better is a subjective term. Who looks better, Madonna or Lady Gaga?
Taking Madonna. I'm taking Madonna.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't take both of them because I think both of them look kind of used. Look, I mean, Hold on. Let me bring it back. Hold on. My bad. I was out of pocket. I apologize.
Hey, Slow-Mo, real quick.
Hold on.
Slow-Mo,
wait, Enrique, wait. True. Better is subjective, but if you're looking at like a game that's just fugly versus a game that's very like Horizon Zero Dawn versus I'm gonna have to do it. State of Decay 2, okay? Like you know which game looks better. Like there's no one who is realistic is like, you know what? I'll look at State of Decay 2 that looks better than Horizon Zero Dawn. Like that's not happening.
Look at Horizon versus God of War.
Okay, yeah, but see, that's closer. That's a closer comparison. But I'm just trying to I don't want to just blanket say like, well, you can't say something is better. Like everything is subjective.
Well, it is. So let me put it. If you ask me, can the Series X version run at a higher resolution? And if
probably
higher resolution is better, then I can answer that in the affirmative. I think that they probably can get that demo in a higher resolution. If you asking, can they get it at a higher frame rate, even if they lower some of the settings, and if in your mind that is better, then like I can answer that too. I need to know what version of better are you talking about, because the term better can mean way more than one thing.
So let's look at it like this then. Let's say you want to do that demo and you want it to be playable on both the Xbox Series X and the PS5, right? So of course, as what you said and what they insinuated in the interview, maybe that last part with the flying would have to change because the Xbox Series X can't do it that way. But then whatever, as we always talk about, the least common denominator, the baseline, what you can do, and you're going to build that out for both platforms so that both people playing on, say, Force playing on his Series X and Jay playing on his PS5 are both playing the same experience. Then at that point, at that baseline, which one is going to perform or look better?
So, all right. So if they did what you just said, if they just built to the lowest common denominator, they're going to look the same. But if they design to the lowest common denominator and then add on specific graphic fidelity,
right,
targeting each hardware, then in that scenario, the Xbox will win every time. Because
that's what I figured.
Away the advantage of the PS4, which is the ability to design it different. If you take away the ability to utilize their I/O to the fullest, and that they are just reduced to common I/O that can be done anywhere, and now add graphic detail on top of that, Xbox will win 100% of the time.
So I guess that goes back to the whole first and second party will really take advantage of that, which is fine by me. I'm excited. I'm excited about what their first party is going to do with the PS5. I can't wait. But that also, it kind of just goes back to like this discussion we always had where it comes to third parties. Like you're not going to see see that fully realized unless it's a independent developer that, or some, let's say like
me,
or Supermassive Games who tends to make a lot of exclusives for the PlayStation platform. They're going to take full advantage of that because they're making the exclusive to that. Exactly. They don't have to worry about Xbox and it's slower. It's slower SSD. So yeah. I mean, all that stuff makes
and PC. So again, like let's not put Xbox in that.
For now,
over here.
PC for now. Let's add the for now in there.
Be careful about PC code.
Now, the point is that PC is what's holding everything back. Again,
whoa.
Stop your crime, boy. When a console warrior talks about PC, they always talk about the top 2% gold chain PCs 100% of the time. That's all they do. When they say PC, they trying to win an argument, and they also always reference the highest PC possible. When a dev team and a publisher talks about PC, they're talking about a GTX 960 somewhere around there because they want the biggest possible install base. Therefore, they will have to design, not build and graphics scale. We're not talking about that, the design the design has to be able to run on a 960. Yes, they will scale up the graphics and all of that good stuff so that it looks better in the ultra settings and ray tracing and all of those higher frames, sure, all of that stuff. But none of that is the design. So what you get is what people were frustrated with in the Xbox gameplay demo that wasn't really gameplay show.
That's not on the Xbox.
That look better, right? Like they're just the same games. They just look better, but they're like it's nothing new.
Cole, I agree with you to a point because I think we already saw it this week in the PC hemisphere. There are a lot of AMD built PCs, a lot of AMD gamers that are upset at AMD for kind of reneging on when they were going to cut off, older mobos, like older boards for their new CPUs. And I think when it comes to your storage, I think we're going to start seeing the minimum those minimum requirements that you see for PC ain't going to have a mechanical drive anywhere in there starting next year. You're going to start seeing.
Great, but what do you think the adoption rate's going to be?
I think for PC gamers, they're going to go get themselves an SSD.
And how come there are so many 960s still in the wild?
Because it hasn't been pushed yet. That's why I think it's just strictly if I don't need to.
It's actually 1060, sir. 1060. There's some people. Don't take the generation back.
If they don't need the upgrade, then they won't. As soon as they need the upgrade, they'll go up.
Hold on, I want to address what Forte just said. So Forte, you're right in that the dominant card is the 1060, but the minimum specs are almost always a 960 or sometimes even lower.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Code, because I want to go back to ray tracing because it's been a point.
And we got like 10 people on the panel, man. B Money ain't said nothing. EJ,
yeah, B E.
No, I know, but
Jay Barry, sorry, Jay Barry, that you're hearing. They ain't said nothing in a minute.
I'm enjoying the conversation, man. Sometimes you just got to fall back. You know what I mean?
Man, hey Jay, you noticed that I fell way back. So let me fall back, and I've been taking over the show too much.
Yeah, no, Code. I do have a question because the ray tracing stuff's come up a lot. Like people are talking about, well, it's not really ray tracing. It's global illumination. It's not as good. I mean, what do you have to say about that? I mean, I think even like what we saw today, it's not ray tracing or path tracing, whatever the case is. It still looked damn good.
Absolutely.
And I do think that developers aren't necessarily going to be targeting native 4K for demanding games. Like you and I talked about this the other day. I think that developers are going to utilize tools to make things more efficient. So they may not target native 4K. They may be looking at things or utilizing tools as an example, like DLSS 2.0, to create images that maybe native. I'm using this example, maybe native 1080p, but look 4K, right? And then divert those resources elsewhere. Do you think that this perception of next gen console means 4K native 60 frames per second is, and I think we'll get it with some games, but I don't think we're going to get it with the bigger games. I could see this with smaller titles, if you will.
I think we'll get it with every game. So at least on Microsoft, I don't really know what's going on with Sony yet. So again, keep in mind the tooling. Microsoft knows that the tooling is what's important, and that's why they have DX12 Ultimate. The problem is that the big title that's coming this fall, Valhalla, isn't using DX12. And so it's like a lot of shade being thrown without people understanding like all the underlying details. And the only point I'm making with that is Microsoft is making it easy to get 4K 60 if you get comfortable with and use their tools. I think 4K 60 will be standard even for big budget titles. I honestly do.
So you're saying native 4K
get 60. We got super chat.
Yes, native.
Okay.
So we got super chat by HD Gamer. Shout out to you for the $7.99. Great show, guys. Optimist question for you. What aspects of the UE5 demo do you think were taking particular advantage of the throughput off of the PS5 IO throughput?
Definitely that flying scene, but not even that. Just like how when she was like walking around and like jumping, and if you look, you can just see the fidelity in the scene is like really crisp and top notch with all the different camera angles moving around. Like when they looked at the rocks and the shadows from the rocks, like all of those assets, how they were saying like these are all high res assets being pulled in, and then our technology is reducing the number of polygons and vertices that we have to deal with. Like we keeping the same assets, film quality, all of that shit right there was taking advantage of the throughput. All of it.
So I think so. I wanted to agree with Cole with pretty much everything because I've been going against him the whole freaking show for some reason. But I agree with most stuff he's saying, just for the simple fact on this. When it comes to like how he said how it probably couldn't run on the series, it's not saying that this demo isn't something that can run on there. It's just saying in its current form, it couldn't, because they built this to the strengths of the PlayStation. The strength of the PlayStation is around that throughput. Now, this would have been a completely different demo for Xbox, where it would have took advantage of things that the Xbox is way better at. So it's two different things. You know, two things can be right. That's why we kept saying that. I always said with the Xbox and the PlayStation, they're both going to achieve pretty much the same delta. They're just going to get there different ways. And that's hopefully what it'll come down to.
You can go to the menu, go to the file menu, and quit an app, or you can press the X in the top right corner. They different ways of doing very similar things.
Right.
So the Xbox version, so like that flying scene, they would probably take full advantage of the variable rate shading, where they don't really have to process all of those pixels, and they can focus more of the graphical power, especially moving at that speed. Yeah, they can like go really low res because you can't really notice that detail anyway at that speed.
When you're moving that fast, yeah.
Right, and so like there are things that they can do. So it's not like they can't make a comparable demo, or that same demo can't scale down and take advantage of features on another platform. The thing is, it won't be that demo. That demo cannot run that way on anything other than the PlayStation 5. Which is why they did it. They wanted to show
they wanted to show it in the best light.
What's your thoughts on my man Tim Sweeney here? I'm going to read a little comment. Can I read a comment real quick, guys? Can I speak from the heart?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speak from the heart for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's your platform right now.
I just want to read from the heart, and I want my man Optimus, Slow Mo, Forte, Enrique, anyway, Eric, E Money. You guys can chime in after, okay? I'm going to read from the heart, okay? Let me put on my glasses for a second.
Bars,
all right, here we go.
Oh Lord, he put the glasses on, guys. Pokemon everywhere rejoicing.
I can see him with the glasses, with the string to kind of keep the glasses around your neck.
Got the robe on, you know. All right, so here we go. He added, Sony has done an awesome job of architecting a great system here. It's not just a great GPU, and they're just not take the latest PC hardware and upgrade it, following the path of least resistance. What do you guys feel about that? I know that's a little short, little expert, but I just want to get your thoughts on that part right there.
Well, I'll go really quick because this won't take me but a second. I've been saying on this show for months now that Sony is focusing on doing new things, and Microsoft is focusing on taking what we already do and doing it better. His statement aligns exactly with what I've been thinking this whole time.
That's interesting. So, Code, you're saying that Sony is trying to move the industry forward.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that Microsoft is not, right? Like, so now we back into if you compliment LeBron, you dissing Jordan, or if you compliment Jordan.
Well, that is true, sir. Jordan is the GOAT.
Jordan is the GOAT.
There's only one GOAT. What did my man say? Shaq said it. It's only 110. Everybody else are 7s and 8s.
All right, so
you can't be the GOAT if you got a losing record in the finals.
Exactly. Congratulations, Slow Mo. We're best friends.
All I'm trying to say is, just because you praise one thing doesn't mean you're criticizing the other thing. It's not binary.
I agree.
The Xbox Series X is a beast of a console. I'm not negating anything from it, but I'm just listening to all these developers speak about X Gen. It seems a little one-sided in my from what I'm reading. With these,
I think once everybody's in full swing and everybody's starting to use DX12 Ultimate, and they see like how easy it is and how much faster development is and what Microsoft has done, I think we'll start to hear some pretty good stuff. But at the same time, there still is like taking what we already do and doing it better. You get a whole new opportunity, a whole new world of design options that open up on PlayStation. And like I keep hearing people say, only first party will use it, only second party will use it, as if that's like some type of detriment. Like I don't, like they can make one Spider-Man game and people will play that 10 times rather than 10 other games that they play, because it's like a cross-platform. It is the quality of the game that matters, and that game will take all of the shine from everything else. You know, I mean, potentially. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
I think Code is absolutely right when it comes to that point, because I think most of us in our lives, when we're fronted with something challenging, something new, something fresh, it's instantly more exciting to you to be able to dive into that and talk about it and experience what that new, for them, for PlayStation, that's the new normal, because it's something that's going to challenge them and push them to want to do other things that they haven't done before. Whereas Xbox is giving you a platform that allows you to do things you already did, but allow you to do them way better. So which one excites you more? The things that you did before and can do a little bit, it's like more of a time saver, or do you want to try something else that's going to push you to be even better than what you were before? Because everybody, creative people, want to be pushed creatively. So when you start thinking about it in that aspect, it doesn't really.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't worry me at all that developers are coming out talking about PlayStation more, because that's more than the enamor right there. More people are excited about PlayStation because of the possibilities of what it's going to do for them to stimulate their brains to help them do things they never were able to do before in consoles.
So, but here's the thing, and really quick, like I cannot stress this point enough. Microsoft can get that same energy if they remove that dumb rule about all of their games have to also run on these low-end PCs.
Code, why is that a dumb rule? It's consumer friendly.
Consumer friendly, man. Taking care of consumers.
Their hardware is not up to snuff, that their hardware can't also help create new things. The problem is they can't take full advantage. They can take some advantage of the hardware, but they can't take full advantage of it because they have mandated that all of their games have to run on these low-end PCs. If they somehow raise that minimum spec, like Slow-Mo was saying, and if the minimum spec includes an SSD, and not just an SSD, like a really good SSD,
like a Samsung 970, like
970 Pro Evo. Let's go.
Yeah.
So like if that happens, I mean, a lot of stuff can be created on Xbox end too. The problem isn't the hardware. The problem is the politics. They have mandated that their games must match the lowest common denominator. And unless they raise that lowest common denominator, then it's over with. Unless
they
also
do that for all third party too?
No, just their first party.
Yeah, I thought it was just first party. Yeah, so first party, right?
That, like, to me, it could work, I guess, but to me, it's a really odd state of affairs when you're leaving it up to third parties to push your system for you. That just seems backwards. If anything, I want to control my own fate, not.
I agree 100%.
So if Sony also says, okay, all our games are going to run day and date on PC, then we got a problem, because all of that stuff is going to become undone, because they're going to be in the exact same boat, not being able to take full advantage of everything because of the PC. So it's just going to depend on, like right now, Sony, the rumors are, I haven't seen anything official, just some rumors. Sony is saying that there will be platform exclusives and they have no problem leaving the PS4 behind. There will be some cross-gen titles, but there will certainly be some console exclusives that also aren't going to PC. If that's true, we in for some good stuff. If that's not true, then they both gonna be about neck and neck, because they both gonna be held back design wise.
Yep.
So it sounds like PC's the place to play then, next generation. What you're saying, Code.
I don't think Code's gonna tell you that that's what that whole conversation.
Oh no, Code is he's gonna dive into the 30 series.
Yeah, I mean that's what you
know,
but that's
hey guys, I got a super chat. I'm sorry, real quick. Biggie 2316 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, so question, because I'm dumb to programming. Is there not enough time to optimize AC before release date to hit 60 frames per second?
Not at 4K.
So the problem isn't. So the problem is they're using DX11, and like Slow-Mo, I think Slow-Mo posted a video. Like even under the very best conditions, you can get it to hit 60 frames per second, but on the card that's less than a 2080 Ti, you can't do that. And so the graphics card in the Series X is not a 2080 Ti. So it is unrealistic to expect that at 4K, they're going to hit 60 frames using DX11. However, will they have a mode where it's reduced resolution for higher frames? In a vacuum, I think that's possible. Slow-Mo has said based on their history, he doesn't think it's realistic, but there's nothing stopping them from doing it other than their politics. It can be done, but it's not as easy as people think. Just throw it in there. Like, that's not true. They have to get a balance of settings that work for what they would consider the majority of people, and then offer that performance, because they're never going to have the same level of granularity as consoles. So no, there's not enough time to optimize it to 60 because of the tooling that they're working with. And to introduce a performance mode, I mean, it's not free. That takes effort and it takes work. And then you also have to test it and all of that stuff. So I don't really know what they're doing or how much time they got left, but I wouldn't try throwing it in at this late date. I would focus on hitting my targets, making my commitments, and then maybe ramping up another team if they got the budget for it to start working on a patch for higher frame rates.
Which
I think that will probably end up being exactly what's going to happen, is that they'll, if there is not already a movement to make that happen now, then it might come later. Ubisoft, as I said before, in the past, they haven't done performance modes with their games, but they also have been having like for this particular game, 15 studios working on one game. The Division had 6 studios working on one game. They do that, but they have all these studios, but they all use the same tools. They also use the same assets from other games, and they just put them in another game. There's actually evidence of like from Ghost Recon Wildlands, the Ghost Recon Breakpoint, of the same buildings just kind of drop haphazardly in different places. From Assassin's Creed Origins to Odyssey, seeing some of the same architecture on the buildings that were rendered still in they use the same assets, and that's how they're able to crank out these games quicker. But that sameness, like, that finally backfired on them last year, and they said, okay, we get it, y'all don't like that, we're going to slow this down. They delayed every game that was supposed to come out this year. And they said, we're only going to approve of projects that have some kind of uniqueness from all of our other games. And so, they came out, they talked about it. Like Skull and Bones was already supposed to be out by now. Watch Dogs Legion was already supposed to be out by now. All those games were supposed to come out this year, got delayed. And some of them got canceled. Like, there was a game that Ubi-Soft Montreal was making. It hadn't been announced yet, got canceled because it just wasn't different enough. And so they are trying to change. And I know, like, we hear this stuff from the publishers all the time. Take it with a grain of salt whether they actually do it or not. But with that said, due to how the backlash they got from the Division 2 and Breakpoint, they may actually end up doing the performance mode just because they're trying to change the perception that they have with the overall gaming community on how they do game development. So it's an outside chance. You never know.
Yeah, guys, we have another super chat. I'm sorry, go ahead, B.
So I wouldn't count on it.
So we have another super chat from AD with the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, let's not forget the demo had 8K textures. This is true.
Go AD.
It did. Yeah, it did. I was very impressed. I know some people are, focusing on the fact that it wasn't native 4K, whatever the case is, but I was still very impressed by what we saw with this demo. some of the things that the Epic team did with, getting, the sounds of falling rocks from caves and how sound reverbs inside caves and then putting that into a game. I think one of the things that people aren't, I think, understanding too, or maybe realizing or appreciating is that the sound quality in these games is, I think the immersiveness is going to be on a level that things that we haven't really experienced just yet. Things that like Mark Cerny talked about. Everyone makes fun of Mark Cerny saying, let me borrow your ears, whatever the case is. But, I think that is a big improvement. Because let's face it, if you are a moviegoer, and I think Code, I've seen your setup, you got a little surround sound situation going on. You probably have appreciation for sound quality, right? And immersion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that gaming outside of graphics, I think everyone focuses on graphics and frame rates, but I think that one of the things that I was really fascinated or interested that Epic talked about was the sound quality. Things are doing and producing real life sounds that maybe we're like listening to those rocks fall in that cave. It did really seem almost lifelike. The way she was touching the rocks. If you ever touch rocks, rub your hands across a cave. If you've gone,
that's one thing that impressed me too, because the fact that they took the time to explain, like on games like Uncharted or The Last of Us, where there could be like a barrier or a rock in the way, but it doesn't matter how the rock is like edged out or anything like that. The character is still going to touch it. But here in the demo, it showed like, okay, I'm not. It's like the AI and the character is like it's appropriately touching the right areas where you will move in like real life. It looked real cool. I don't know if I episode that, but
no, it absolutely did. It absolutely did. So, and so look, I felt like this is the first time where I really feel like we saw a glimpse of next gen, and it's not just, it's funny. Like I think people were getting upset because I said Sony kicked off next gen, and people were in a tizzy about it, but it just wasn't them, PlayStation 5 per se. I mean, this is what we'll see with both these next generation consoles moving forward, and so as a gamer, I'm super excited. I can't wait. And we do have an update. Sony's saying, hey, you know what? We're going to release this console on time. It's not going to be delayed. That was recently mentioned from Sony as well. That holiday is the target date, and they're not going to miss it. So we'll see. I still think that all depends on whether or not or how bad a second wave of this pandemic hits. I know that we're slowly opening up the country. I'm still not convinced, though, that globally or domestically we're able to respond or maybe clamp down on pockets of outbreak. But I could be wrong. Who knows? But on that note, everyone,
we'll definitely see when the time comes.
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of I hate to say this. It's almost like a trial by error, and I hate to say that, but it really is. So we'll see. But on that note, I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. By the way, we appreciate the over 300 viewers that we had watching the show. We really appreciate the time. Everyone, if you're new to the show in the live chat, we really appreciate your support. Consider hitting that like button and subscribing as well. And I also want to say that, look, on May 23rd, mark this on your calendars, everyone. We do have a special guest. We're going to have Paul on from Red Gaming Tech to talk about gaming.
Yeah, he cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so really excited about having him on.
Paul, I thought you was going to have somebody from Tekken on this month.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I got a lot of questions for him. That's
yeah,
we're a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me tell you, Paul, if you guys have not checked out Ray Gaming Tech, you guys need to check them out.
Yeah, I tried to attack him recently too, man.
Yeah, I mean, Paul puts out some great content. He dropped some great videos today. He's going to be on May 23rd, I think at 11 a.m. He's 6 hours ahead of us. I think it's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I'll double check for you guys, and I'll put that out later on. But definitely want to keep an eye out for that. And then we are working on some other game developers. Actually, the individuals that broke off from
Respawn.
Respawn. Thank you, B. How'd you do that, B?
Yeah. I was talking to John Shine a couple days ago.
Okay,
so that's probably
you talking about Gravity Well.
Gravity Well,
Gravity Well games.
Yeah, so Gravity Well, we're working on getting them on the podcast as well. Right now, they're still in the process of getting things together, but they are definitely open to coming on, perhaps. Awesome. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that.
For him, though.
What's that, Code?
No softball questions for him.
No, well, Code, we're the community's still suspect on the fact that you haven't developed games in a while. Do you want to answer that question?
Man, no, please.
They Code tired of answering questions of people that never actually stepped foot in a development studio.
Exactly. Here's what I'm hearing. The last time you developed a game was 11 years ago. The last time I developed a game was never years ago. So I'm I don't believe you because I read this, and so your knowledge is outdated. Like, well, how come you think I can't read what you read? Like, in what world are you surpassing me because you have never done development and I developed a game 11 years ago?
Yo, Cole, you got to understand that we live in an era now that experience means nothing here. It's all about opinions. They have a nice charming opinion.
Right.
If you have an experience, they don't care about that.
Yeah, dudes won't listen to you. Dudes won't listen to you, but they'll listen to the night manager at Dairy Queen who has a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
The Google gamer.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
11 somewhere trying to give financial advice to Sony and Microsoft. Like they really gonna listen to you. And here's another thing. How do we know that I haven't done game development in like 11 or 12 years? Because I said it. Enrique was like, we got game developer coming. I'm like, whoa. I used to be a game developer. Right now, I'm an application developer. I'm the one who even clarified that, like, hey, I don't do current game dev anymore. And I said, why? I'm not dealing with all that crunch shit. Man, that's played out. It was fun for a while. I'm good. Either way, I am the one who is trying to make sure everyone understands, here's when I've done game development. This is the type of development I do these days. And I can answer these questions. I've said before, if I'm wrong, I can be wrong. I tell you, just because I say it doesn't make it right. Everybody's a human. Everybody can be wrong. But yes, I know people with Xbox dev kits. I'm in touch routinely with friends. We have our Slack channel. They're all programmers, and we chat in there daily. Some stuff, obviously, I can't say because it's just bound. Some stuff they don't even tell me anyway because they don't like how I'm interacting on Twitter. They was like, why? What's the point? And like, why are you arguing with infidels? And like,
is this what game developers are telling you, Code?
Yes, there's real talk. Like, why are you wasting your time? Like, you are right. Why are you arguing? Like, because it's fun. Like, I like conversation. It energizes me. But my point to that is some stuff they don't tell me because they think I'm just gonna like say it on Twitter or give some little glimpse of it anyway. So,
I mean that's understandable. They feel it's a risk, that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
So I don't do current development, and I'm not trying to hide that, but that does not make my knowledge on game development any less.
That's the thing. If you were a heart surgeon for 30 years, just because you retired does not mean that you don't know anything anymore.
Exactly. Right. And if they come up with a new technique, I can like, well, wait, no, because that'll cross the veins in the wrong. Like that can't. Like certain things just are going to always be true, no matter what.
Exactly. So the fact of the matter is, you're not going to argue that with somebody who has never done open heart surgery on somebody.
Exactly. Right. That's right. So but that being said, I can be wrong. So like if somebody wants to question something that I said because it doesn't make sense, that's perfectly legit. If someone wants to like ask clarifying questions, that's also legit. But this whole notion of like challenging me that like I'm somehow lying or clout chasing, like why? Like what is it? What do I have to gain from any of this? I'm living ghetto fabulous by myself. I'm good.
No, I hear that, Code. It's funny, man. Like, I think that like the one thing, because I that question came up and I asked you that question a long time ago. And the way you responded just made sense to me. There's certain things that just don't change in terms of there's fundamentals, if you will, that just don't change. And you have people out here who don't understand game development that are questioning your knowledge, which I find funny because
haven't even stepped in a related field.
Like, they don't even know.
Even have any kind of secondary knowledge of what this stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But again, let me be very clear. I don't mind people like having, if I say something and they don't think it's right or it seems off with some other thing that they learned and they ask me to clarify and like we just having a conversation so they can see where I'm coming from. I got no problem with that. People should do that. Nobody should take anything that anybody says because they said it. I'm not that type of person. However, when you're trying to argue with me on little basics and stuff, and your only reason that you arguing is because you don't like the way it made your platform sound, and the stuff you saying don't even make good nonsense, is at that point that I start to have a problem.
But you know what's funny, Code, is that it's funny. When you put out like things that are based on your experience, your conversations with game developers, those things go unnoticed. I've seen this on Twitter. The whole Pancake Chef thing, which was a great example of how things work. No one paid attention to that. And you're absolutely right. As soon as you say something that doesn't make somebody's preferred platform look like in the best light or whatever, then they question you. But they don't pay attention to you when you're actually providing knowledge. And that's the shit that blows my mind away. Because to me, that Pancake Chef example, like I was like, wow, this shit makes sense. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's why I put on that tweet, for the console warriors, this won't matter. But for everybody else that just want a little bit better understanding of how this all works and why you can't use flops as an indicator of like good or better, like here you go. Here's a good example why. Teraflops just make things possible. Dev, skill, talent, tooling, that's what make things good. And we should have seen that by now. I got a platinum in Death Stranding, and there was nothing on my Xbox One X that looked as good as Death Stranding. Nothing.
Woo! Wow. Don't say that. People get upset, Code.
Man, I told y'all, truth about all platforms. I game on every platform, even trash PC.
Oh, okay. We got to stop that PC. Yeah, we got to stop with that PC slander, Code.
Conversations in gaming, man. I'm sick of all of this partisan trash. It is time for honest conversations about gaming. People trying to make gaming decisions, and they need real information, man.
Yeah, but not even just that, Code. Just the fact that where this community kind of sits. Just seeing what you saw today in that demo should have been hype for any gamer,
right?
Like exactly. Possibilities, but all this is turned into is energy keeping, score keeping, to get back, to pay back. Right. Nothing over something that means nothing to you at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, we're all consumers that put a lot of money into this thing, and that's one thing we all have in common. We all drop dough to play these games. Well, some of us play the games. Other people just kind of talk all day. But
This is foot dippers. I call them foot dippers, man. They put their foot
there you go, Bar. Right. But ask them what they played recently. Like, I started.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, Jay Barry, man, it has been a blast having you on, sir. Please let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. Definitely appreciate the invite. You can find me, Jay Barry on Twitter. You find me somewhere, I'll be bickering with somebody, but it's all fun and games.
Bickering.
No doubt, Jay. He said bickering.
Yeah,
no doubt. Code, we're not going to ask you that question where to find you, but Code, it's always a pleasure, sir. Appreciate your insight. And even though you hate on PCMR, we know you're coming back home, man. So it's all good.
Anytime, man. Forte and Slow Mo was going at it tonight. I was like, ooh, wee.
Yeah, big shout out to Forte and Slow. They always go at it, I think, somewhat, So, Forte, please let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
Man, Gaming Forte, YouTube and Twitter. Every once in a while, doing videos for Slow Mo Backslap.
This is a lie.
Making sure that content is 100% grade A, like some eggs just came off the chicken. But for sure, this was a great show, guys. Shout out to Jay Barry and Cole coming through, dropping that knowledge for us, and appreciate everybody. And shout out to the over 250 people that joined the show. So check us out next week.
No doubt, man. Thank you. And E. Jackson, the voice of reason in the gaming community, I like to say. Please let everyone know where they can find you, man.
He's the voice of reason for the show in general.
Yeah, he is.
Good dude right there, my man. E. Jackson. That's a good dude right there.
EJ keeps us centered.
Yeah.
I tried. You know. But no, AJ Bar, it was good having you on, bro. You're always welcome here, you know that. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X. And when I'm not here, Saturday night, you can find me Gaming Perspective, 8:00.
No doubt. Great show, by the way, man. Love Gaming Perspective. Everyone, please check them out. And my man, B Money.
Yo,
let everyone
what up,
find
man?
you, sir.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and all your local gaming consoles. B Money 101. Soon to be on PC once I get my Windows on there tomorrow. So I'll be on there as well. And but y'all know what tomorrow is, man. Tomorrow's gonna be a glorious day.
B Money Ramondo. Let's go.
Yeah, tomorrow's a glorious day, man. Everybody get your samurai swords ready, man, because it's going down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Goes to Tsushima gameplay tomorrow.
Do lightsabers count, sir?
Hey, man, whatever you got, man.
Yeah.
Bring it to the party, man.
Money, before I go to sleep, I'm gonna watch The Last Samurai. I love that movie, by the way. Just to get in character. You know what I mean? I want to get hyped.
That's a white man. What you talking about? You the last
Listen.
You funny, Code.
The white man wasn't accepted. He wasn't accepted, but he embraced the ways of the samurai.
Oh yeah, right. Tomorrow is going down, baby. So everybody get ready, man. I'm super excited for tomorrow. Ghost of Tsushima has been my most anticipated game since they announced it. Every time they show it, I get excited. So super excited for tomorrow, man. I can't wait.
B Money, I need to ask you a question, bro. And please don't dodge the question. I need a straight, legit answer from you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Will there be gameplay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There will be gameplay.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay,
hyped.
Tune in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Sony's had a very nice week. All those naysayers said they were being quiet. I don't know. Slow-mo backslap on that note. Please let everyone know where they can find you.
Yo, you can find me on my YouTube channel where I make my own content and that Forte has nothing to do with. I have to say, because I've been making a lot of videos in the last week. I've just been I kind of been having a backlog of stuff I've been working on, and it's just really just trying to get it all out as soon as possible. So check it out. I normally make videos about just games from smaller developers that have a lot of promise, have a lot of potential, and I should have at least probably 2 or 3 more coming out for the rest of the week. So check it out. Channel was my same name, Slow-Mo Backslap. And I want to give some recommendations tomorrow on GOG. Alan Wake is going to be 90% off. Actually, I think it's going to be on everything PC. So GOG, Steam, whatever. Alan Wake is going to be 90% off. Pick that up. It's pretty cool. And if you have Epic Game Store tomorrow, there's going to be the reveal of a free game, and everyone thinks it's going to be GTA 5. So if you don't have that on PC, check it out. Check that out too. So,
yo, Slow-Mo, I want to tell you something, man. Your content is great, is really good, bro. I enjoy watching it. You bring a perspective to gaming that most people don't do. I kid around when I tell everybody I make your videos, bro. I wish I could dive deep into some of the games that you do and talk about them the way you do. I really appreciate what you do with those smaller games and bring a light to them. So great job on those. And everybody, make sure you go check out that man's channel because he don't be playing around when it comes to those games.
I just subbed just based off of what Forte just said right there. It touched my heart.
Oh,
yeah, no, seriously,
yeah, I appreciate that.
Slow-Mo puts in work though. Seriously, he really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got over 300. I just got over 300 subs this week, so I mean it's going pretty well. It's a slow grind, but it is what it is.
We're gonna get you some work, man. We're gonna get
that work in, bro.
Slow-Mo, I couldn't tell if you was throwing shade at Bright Memory or if you liked it. I was a little confused.
Look, I try to be as even as possible. When I played Bright Memory, I liked it, but there were some problems. So like I don't want people to be like, man, Slow Mo said Bright Memory was the shit. I played it, I had this issue and this issue and this. So I'm like, look, let me just be even. Let me just say I enjoy the gameplay. It's fun. Okay. You can juggle enemies. The combos are great. But sometimes I'm trying to shoot the gun and the gun don't shoot. What's going on with that? But sometimes in a certain area, I feel like I'm sinking into the ground. What's up with that? Like that. I had to say, like, when I know there's certain things, I'm like, you know what? I can't not say this in the video because I don't want anyone to be like, yo, man, I ain't know it was going to be like this. And just like certain things, but it's like that game was made by one person. So I kept trying to make sure that, like, in the video, I'm like, hey, look, these are things that need to be worked on, but like, it's made by one person. It's still fun to play. Like it's cool, $10. It's $10, and then you can get the full game for free when it fully comes out. That's worth it to me.
I heard it's episodic too.
I think they stopped doing that because like I think he wanted to be episodic, but then he hasn't dropped any episodes since the first portion came out like a year ago. So I think it's just going to convert to when the full game comes out, like what they showed in that trailer / gameplay trailer at Inside Xbox. That map wasn't even in the Bright Memory episode 1 early access. That wasn't even there. So the car wasn't there. Grappling enemies to you like Scorpion, that part of the gameplay wasn't there. So they've made some significant changes to the game. It always had ray tracing, but like it looks better in many different ways. And so he has a full team with him now. I think he kind of switched it from being episodic to we just going to do a full game and still fulfill the obligations we did to people about you get Bright Memory Infinite for free. Once this comes out.
No doubt. Yeah. Question, Brad, before we leave, and I'm sorry, but there are a lot of people waiting on The Last of Us 2. There are a lot of people excited about Ghost of Tsushima. I'm just curious, are those people not going to play it if it's not at 60 frames per second?
No. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's going to be on current gen consoles, so I guess they'll be fine with it. But when they come out with that PS5 patch, people are going to be wanting that 60.
Also, that's yes, people going to play it.
Yeah. They definitely gonna play it.
Because I heard it's like you walking in mud and you just can't. It's so terrible.
Wow. Okay. All right. On that note, all right, we're gonna wrap up.
Are you trying to say it's not, sir? When you're walking in mud at 30 frames per second?
All right. We're gonna wrap up the show. Hey, everyone live chat. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Much love to everyone that watched the show tonight. The 300 plus people that were here. New people, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also remember, May 23rd, we're going to have Paul from Red Gaming Tech on, joining us to talk about next generation consoles and gaming. So on that note, we're out. Everyone, peace.